as we initiate chaos. Theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots, sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only waits us. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. It's in a beautiful darkness. Only another. It's full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. All above the Betty Express. Misdirected from the start. It's a runaway train. I come a freight train. I come a freight train. In a beautiful darkness, the Betty Express. In a beautiful darkness.
Hey, you guys. Okay, third time's a charm. We are just scooting on to day 2. We are like, I have saged and done things, and I felt so bad because Mr. Mo and I went out and got this new mic, and it was probably my power and not anything to do with my microphone. But it is a really cool microphone, so I do feel bad that we had to go out and buy it. And I hope everyone is warm and cozy. Mr. Mo has had to talk me down several times. I did not assume that I was going to be one of those worry wart moms. Like, because, you have all the kids, and I don't know why it is hitting me so hard that this is going to be my first big storm without my college-age daughter in my house. And she's so smart and such an old soul and she's going to be out of college. So logically, I know that the safest place for her to be is probably, out of college where they have generators and all of that. But emotionally, I am having to like talk myself down constantly, which is odd for me because usually when I decide to logic something out, I'm okay. But not today for some reason. I am battling with myself like she is okay. Everything will be fine. She is out of college. They have generators. And, y'all, that mama bear is something fierce. Yeah, we aren't expecting snow until later. It is desperately cold outside. So I am trying to distract myself by watching the judge lose his ever-loving mind, uh, you know, about the defense. Now, I haven't done this before, but Jason J, I have pinned his GoFundMe to the top of my comments. He did reach out to me privately and share with me that I don't know if you guys know, but he has been dealing with cancer and it is not looking very good. I am not saying you have to donate, but keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And I will be keeping his GoFundMe on my streams this week. I know things are tough. And, don't use your ramen noodle money, only breadstick money. Anything that you were going to super chat to me, feel free to go over and send to him. Um, I am, so blessed and lucky. And, if all else fails, we have a wood burning stove. So we are lucky. I am lucky and cozy and healthy and warm. So if you guys feel so inclined, please look into that. And, if you want to donate or keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He hasn't really been too out about it, but he did share with me that he was okay with me sharing with you guys. So just a thought. But let's get into this so I can distract myself from being a, completely overbearing mom. Which is, always possible. It's so funny. My daughter's like, yeah, I've got supplies. I've got everything. The school has things set up. And I'm like, why am I worried about you? Now, I will say that kiddo challenges, swinging roundabouts. So I have like this old soul, oldest child, and then three feral boy children that I have to explain the process of a shower to, like turn on water, get underwater, apply soap, scrub soap underwater, wash hair, put hair underwater. So it does swing in roundabouts. Yeah, yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I hope so. You guys, we'll just keep an eye on it. I mean, at this point, it is what it is. And I hope everyone is able to stay warm and bless our linemen that are, staging and already pre-setting up, for this storm.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You can just watch your step going up there. Could you put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, once you get comfortable, can you state your name for the record and spell your last name, please?
My name is Debbie Bassender. My last name is Bassinder.
Okay. Prosecutor, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Detective.
I didn't know that the bump it was still in fashion in New Jersey. Way to go. It's a little Jersey Shore. I like it. A little Long Island medium. I'm okay with it.
Good morning.
Where are you employed?
I'm employed at the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office
In what capacity?
as a detective.
And how long have you been employed at the prosecutor's office?
8 years this month.
What unit do you work in?
I work in the Financial Crimes and Public Corruption Unit.
Can you tell us how long you worked in that unit for?
I work in
Can you tell me how busy you are in New Jersey? And I say this as a complete Midwestern stereotype. And look, I live very close to Chicago, which is not, by any means a non-corrupt governmental thing, besides the fact that I think my HOA is inherently corrupt. So I say it knowing that, I live in a glass house.
this unit for my entire time of employment at the Prosecutor's Office, with the exception of 2.5 months where I was assigned to the trial unit.
What are your duties and responsibilities as a detective in the financial crimes unit?
My duties are to investigate allegations relating to financial crimes and/or
Is the shaggy fee mullet coming back? Did I not get the thing? Because I believe this woman had the same hairstyle in the 1980s. It's just a little tamer because you've got the shag up front with the feathering. Oh dear Lord. I mean, you know what? She looks very hard.
public trust.
Now, what, if any, law enforcement experience did you have prior to joining the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office?
I was a special agent with the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigation Division.
So as a special agent, were you a sworn federal law enforcement officer at that time?
Yes, I was.
And what was the time frame that you worked as a special agent with the IRS?
From September 1993 through June of 2016.
Generally speaking, what were your duties as a special agent with the IRS?
As a special agent, I was involved in investigating allegations and crimes relating to both domestic and international money laundering, crimes relating to the Bank Secrecy Act, also known as BSA, and crimes relating to the Internal Revenue Tax Code.
Now, I'd like to ask you some further questions about your educational and professional background. Do you have something called a curriculum vitae?
Yes, I do.
I'm showing counsel S27. May I approach?
You can.
Detective, I'm showing you what's been marked as S27. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's a resume.
Did you prepare that?
Yes, I
Is that
did.
your resume?
Yes, it is.
And how many pages is it?
4.
Starting with your
Okay.
education, can you,
Where-
Ocean County Monmouth that honorable.
And
can you explain what it means
okay.
to audit and how that relates to forensic accounting?
Yes, auditing is a regulatory compliance examination of an individual's or an organization.
Auditing is a painful experience where the government tells you how much they're going to steal your money and how the loopholes that rich people use and, people with really, really good accountants and, well, money in offshore accounts are not there for you, the little person, to use. So hand over your money. I mean, what?
Financial books and records.
So how is forensic accounting different from regular accounting?
Well, regular accounting would be your normal day-to-day financial record keeping, your standard financial reporting, and ensuring regulatory compliance.
What, if any, training did you have specifically in forensic accounting?
I was a revenue agent with the Internal Revenue Service, which means you're an auditor. That encompassed approximately, in total, about 6 months of training on complex auditing individuals and business records. From there, my education in accounting focused on accounting 1 and 2, intermediate accounting 1 and 2, advanced accounting, auditing, taxation, business law. When I attended the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center for my position as a special agent with the IRS, that was approximately 6 months long. The second half of that training involved comprehensive 3.5 months of financial forensic accounting, if you will, training on reviewing.
What if I won't? I mean, look, I am glad that there are people that like accounting and numbers. This just all sounds like a variation of torture to me. But hey, ma'am, you know what? I need someone to be able to balance my checkbook when I become rich and famous.
Books, records, identifying fraud, criminal behaviors, patterns, identifying methods of proof in order to see whether or not there is a crime. After that training academy, I also received other training through taking seminars, webinars, all
good Lord.
access to planning skills to follow the flow of funds and money to determine whether there is or is not a crime relating to the allegation involved. Again, whether it's money laundering, Bank Secrecy Act, financial crimes, tax-related crimes.
In your time with the IRS, and I'm sorry if I asked you this already, but how long were you there in total?
23 years.
What, if any, promotions did you receive?
In 2015, I was promoted to a supervisory special agent.
What did that
Certification and records, finally.
Financial crimes. That'd be accurate to say, right?
What?
Yes.
Wait, why?
And
Oh, this is a
you know-
voir dire. Okay, let's listen to Ian Crossland talk about something other than graphene. I still need to take a good screenshot of this lawyer because I think Nick might have some splaining to do.
these investigations would typically involve the review of some type or multiple types of different financial records.
Yes.
This could include bank records, right? It could include tax records.
Yes.
Yes, a financial auditor looks at bank records. I'm glad we all are understanding how gravity works today, Ian.
These records often have to be
War
reviewed
dire?
in combination with one another in your line of work, right?
No.
Well, in terms of money laundering, for example.
State law and federal law are different when you're examining financial documents and tax records.
Okay, so let's just take a step back here. The records, they're helpful to you as an investigator because they show you the path that money takes from point to point. Is that fair to say?
The bank records do.
Yes.
Yes.
The bank records do. Because the bank records show you money going from point A to point B, right?
Yes.
And you need to establish in your investigations at point A to point B to determine if there's been criminal conduct
Or not. Yes.
or not. And the thing, though, about these records is that the record.
Oh, he listened about the tie tack, but his tie is now off center from his belt, and that's going to piss me off. Also, could you possibly send an RSVP to Carmen Sandiego about where in the nebulous hell you're going with your point? So you use records in banking with money.
Records by themselves don't really tell us anything about a person's motivations. The records are just numbers, right?
Not exactly accurate.
Well, a bank statement shows the account that the statement refers to, right? The account that it comes from. It shows debits and credits on the account, right?
Yes.
It shows an opening balance, right?
Right.
It shows a closing balance, right?
Yes.
Might show that I transferred money from that account to a different account, And if I did, it would list some indication of where the money went, right?
Yes.
None of that says anything about what my motivation was in transferring the money from point to point, right?
You know, bank statements don't show feelings was not where I was thinking that question was going. What in the hell is this lawyer? How much patchouli and let's just admit it, on what level of Willie Nelson to Cheech and Chong is this man on? Because he is at 1.25 and he's still slow.
And I agree with that.
You're able to discern something from abstract numbers on a piece of paper that the ordinary person is not. That's your expertise?
My expertise is reviewing all the documents in a comprehensive manner and putting the financial picture together.
Great. So you do need to look at multiple documents then in order to create this full picture. Is that what I heard you just say?
I can look at multiple documents, yes.
Oh, okay. So you're looking at multiple documents, and you're doing that because looking at multiple documents gives you a fuller picture of a situation than looking at a single financial record.
Yes.
And you want to get that fuller picture because that fuller picture is what allows you to determine whether there is potentially criminal conduct or not.
Correct.
You are also looking for things in these records that could demonstrate motive.
At the end of an analysis, yes.
One of the things that you're trying to determine is if any of these records are supportive of or not supportive of motive.
Yes.
Because motive is going to, if it exists, right, is going to help in furtherance of an investigation.
Okay, this man is the exact reason I got in trouble at school. I don't know why he is having a hard time gathering, kind of implied concepts, but people that couldn't get easy to understand concepts and had to have them broken down, this is the stuff, this is where I would lose my ish and I would have an outburst like, "Today, Junior," or, "Oh my God, gravity is a thing. Can we please move on?" How did this man become a lawyer?
Yes.
Motive evidence explains why a person might have made a financial decision that they made.
Yes.
So if you find evidence of motive as part of your investigation, it's something that you would take note of.
Yes.
And if you took note of it, it would
Just start singing Crazy on him, and Wilson, I can't. I need you to start singing Heart, I need you to start singing, oh gosh, what's the song in Heart where she cheats on her husband and has a baby because he's infertile? Yeah, that was the one song my mom didn't want. I was going to grow up and join Heart, despite a complete lack of musical talent. But that's what I wanted to do when I grew up. But ma'am, I'm going to need you to start singing Barracuda or something because this man is starting to hurt my soul and my brain.
it would be because it was significant to you.
Yes.
And if it was significant to you, you would, in some fashion, document it.
Yes.
In general, in a financial investigation, you might take note of the fact, for example, that an individual has a lot of debt
Yes.
or has difficulty paying their debts.
Yes.
You might take note of the fact that a person is getting repeated calls from debt collectors.
Yes.
You might take note of the fact that a person is getting served foreclosure notices.
Yes.
you might take note of the fact that a person is having their utilities, like their water or their gas.
Yes, Cletus the fetus. Holy God. Yes, he's going to take note. The financial things, take note of. It's called an investigation. That's what it is. Where in the nebulous hell are you going? I feel like you've lost your way to Narnia. We need to find Mr. Tumnus. We need to. What the hell? Aslan, help me.
Shut off.
Yes.
Pretty good.
You might take note of the fact that a person isn't able to come up with the money to afford basic things like food and gas.
I may not know if they can't afford food.
If you did know it, you might take note
Possibly.
of it. You might take note of the
Bad enough that I'm hoping that the crinkly noise that usually bothers the ever-living snot out of me, I'm hoping that it will get louder and the entire courtroom will just start opening Werther's Originals in front of a microphone so I can drown him out. You know what? I feel bad for calling this man Ian Crossland. Ian Crossland, once in a while on Tim Pool, rolls a 20. This man only ones.
fact that a person is having their credit card declined.
Yes.
You could take note of the fact that the person
Yes.
is having repeated communications with others about not having enough money.
I may not know that.
You may not, or you may, because sometimes you might have a person's record of text communications in a case, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but sometimes you might.
But I might not.
And if you did have them, and you notice that the person is having communications about not having enough money, you might take note of that.
Yes.
If you had a record that a person is consistently borrowing money because they don't have sufficient funds, you might take note of that fact.
Yes.
The person was
Okay, I will allow, is it fair to say that if it's of financial nature, if it has anything to do with money and you're investigating it, you might notice anything that has to do with finances, even if it's not directly related to a fiscal record, such as text messages, if you have access to them. Why is the twice college dropout translating for a dumb lawyer? I don't know. Bush McFadden, the only reason I picked this trial is because the judge is going to lose his ever-living ish on the defense. Because the defense, apparently this is their first trial. I don't know if they were watching Degrassi. I don't know if they watched Night Court and just thought it would be fun to try to be a lawyer for a day. But our judge is going to start losing his ish.
the subject of a civil lawsuit. You might take note of that fact.
Yes.
If the person was
Boosh, I would, but my son was in the room, and he is the youngest, most feral, and he will repeat things. So I'm trying to be a goodish mom, at least before the snowmageddon hits and I start drinking.
discussing, and there was evidence that they were discussing or considering bankruptcy, you might take note of that fact.
If they were considering bankruptcy, I may not know that.
If there was evidence that they were, you might take note of that.
Yes.
When you were with the IRS and as part of your work with the prosecutor's office, you didn't, sometimes these investigations, I'd imagine, might involve a single person who was a suspect, and sometimes an investigation might involve multiple people that are suspects. Is that fair to say?
Federally, yes.
And sometimes investigations might involve situations where multiple people had access to the same bank accounts.
That's possible.
Let's talk about
we're skipping forward.
an example of it.
Oh, J.K. Debug, I thought she looked like Ann Wilson from Heart. No, defense is, again, figuring out exactly what an IRS agent does during an investigation because we need to be asked. I'm about ready to skip forward on this gravity is a thing of voir dire. He's at
Let's say
1.25, y'all.
we have a small business. Now, you're aware that small businesses,
Oh my God, what is wrong? All right. Is he still questioning her?
For the record, I'm showing counsel S28.
Okay.
Oh, thank
May I
you,
go,
God.
sir?
You go.
Detective, I'm showing you what's been marked as S28. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And what is this?
This is a list of all the 9 accounts that I just described.
Okay. And does this have the bank
Let me
names,
go back
names of the
just a
checking?
little bit. All right.
Or you may reject it. You can do whatever that you want. In determining each opinion, you may consider the reasons given for that opinion, if any, and you may also consider the qualifications and credibility of that particular witness. It is always within the special function of the jury to determine whether the facts on which the answer or testimony of an expert is based on actual evidence that you find it to be. The value or weight of the opinion of the expert is dependent upon and is no stronger than the facts on which it is based. In other words, the probative value of the opinion will depend upon whether, from all of the evidence in the case, you find those facts to be true. You may, in fact, determine from the evidence in this case that the underlying facts are true or not true. So if you find the underlying facts not true, well, that would impact your ability to consider the weight of the testimony because
Now, I really do like this judge. I think he breaks things down in a very clear and matter-of-fact way for the jury. But you can tell just by the way his chair is shaking that he is type A to the max like me. And the general mosey and like slowness of the defense is making him lose his mind. He is his internal Mo, his like, can we hurry up? Is shouting at him. He's going to need an emotional support gin bottle by the end of this.
the underlying facts, you're finding them not to be true. On the other hand, if you found them to be true, well, that would
Listen, he heard the voice of God and it told him to become a judge. And then he had to deal with this defense attorney and he realized he should have just gotten Invisalign. Also, that is my favorite movie. I always wanted to fill a house with popcorn. Yes.
be assisting you on whether that you want to believe the opinions that are based upon those underlying facts that you wish to be true or that you find to be true. Does everybody understand that? Okay. You and you alone are the sole fact finders in this case. You must be persuaded solely by the evidence presented at trial when determining whether the state has satisfied its burden, and it's you and you alone that will make these determinations as to the evidence in this case. With that being said, Ms. Wallace, I'll allow you to continue your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a CD back.
And I don't know what defense attorney needs to hear this, but dressing your client up like Mr. Rogers is really, I'd much rather see this man in a suit. The sweater thing does nothing for me. It makes me look like you're trying to dress like an 8-year-old boy for school pictures, and it's creepy.
Detective, are you familiar with the case State of New Jersey versus Paul Caneiro?
Yes, I am.
How?
I was assigned to, on November 21st, 2018, by my supervisor in the unit at the time to this investigation.
And just to be clear, are you referring to the Financial Crimes Unit?
Yes, I am.
Now, when you were assigned this case, were there already other detectives from other units assigned as the lead detectives?
Yes, because this investigation involved murders, detectives from the Major Crimes Unit were already involved as the lead detectives, as well as detectives from the Crime Scene Unit.
Now, what were the parameters of your investigation? In other words, what was your role as a detective from the Financial Crimes Unit with regard to this case?
My role was to determine if there was or was not a financial motive.
Can you tell us about the investigative steps that you took?
Now, this is the part that I'm not sure why the state is going through to add a motive because they don't need to have a motive. Now, it does clearly it does appear that the money that Paul was embezzling from Kenneth's trust was a motive, but I don't understand why they're bringing in something else that they have to prove. Now, I think they'll be able to prove it hands down fairly easily. But this is just giving the defense another opportunity to cross a witness, and we don't have 73 years in our life. Look, I'm not Ruth from Titanic. I'm not waiting 84 years to the end of this trial.
Yes. Through legal process, serving a grand jury subpoena, through legal process, I obtained statements from the bank for the trust account, the bank that held the trust account. I also, through legal process, obtained statements for the defendant's bank accounts. I also received, through legal process, bank account information on both businesses, EcoStar and Square One, the operating accounts and the payroll accounts. I also received, through legal process, documents from Canada Life Assurance Company, which held a life insurance policy. I also, through legal process, received credit card information and statements and insurance companies and any other financial institutions or companies where eventually I traced money either going to or money coming from.
When you initially said you received statements with regard to the trust account, can you just clarify a little bit more about what you're talking about, what trust account?
Yes, so there is the Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Life Trust. That there is also a bank account titled the Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust. And that bank account is maintained at TD Bank, and it is simply a checking account to receive funds and for those funds then to be paid quarterly premium. So when I refer to the trust account, I'm referring to specifically a TD bank account, business checking account that held funds, and those funds were to pay the premiums.
So you get all of these records, and what do you do with them?
I analyzed the records, wrote detailed reports on these records.
Yeah, during the course of your investigative process, what, if any, interviews did you either participate in or conduct yourself?
I participated in the interview of the accountant, Stephen Weinstein, the CPA. I also participated in the interview of Ron Ortigas, the insurance man. I was also part of the interview with Tiffany Rivera, who was an employee at the businesses that the defendant and his brother Keith Caneiro owned. And I was also present with Detective Pat Giselle, detective at the time, lieutenant now, when he spoke to Yisel Restrepo.
And eventually, were you asked to narrow down the focus of your investigation?
Yes, I
Or your
was.
analysis, I'm sorry.
Yes, I was.
And what specifically was that?
I was asked to narrow down the analysis to the years 2017 and 2018, and essentially do a review of the defendant's finances. So essentially following all the monies going into his accounts and all the monies leaving his accounts. Some of these were fixed deposits and fixed expenses, and in these years there were also one-off deposits and one-off expenses.
When we're talking about bank accounts, how many personal bank accounts did the defendant have?
4.
All right, and with regard to that TD trust account, how many accounts was that?
There was
Okay, 4. I mean, that's not. Well, we do different bank accounts. So, like, I have a food account and then I have like a gas account because Mr. Mo does like the budgeting, and I just, I know what I have in each account and I just try to stay within that because he does the numbery stuff and I just try to make that not as hard for him. Now, that doesn't mean I don't creatively, like if there's craft supplies at Walmart, I won't buy them with the grocery money instead of my fund money because I feel like, if it's in Walmart, it's a food. So I am a bit creative-y with but I try to generally stay in budget.
1.
Okay, and then in terms of the businesses, how many bank accounts were there?
A total of 4, because there were 2 businesses, each had an operating account, each had a payroll account.
And just very briefly, the difference between an operating and a payroll account?
The payroll account is going to pay the salaries of your employees for the businesses, and the operating account is paying your fixed expenses and other expenses.
Okay, so right there, what we discussed, that's
I always figured you had a bad dragon account. Frequent flyer miles. How else would you play tic-tac-dildo? Which I still think should be an Olympic sport. Can you imagine the javelin throw if we made that? I am adding it to the Olympics when I get sponsorship.
a total of 9 bank accounts.
Yes.
For the record, I'm showing counsel S28.
Okay.
May I approve, sir?
You go.
Detective, I'm showing you what's been marked as S28. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And what is this?
This is a list of all the 9 accounts that I just described.
Okay. And does this have the bank names of the checking accounts on here?
Yes, this lists the name of the bank. It lists the type of account. It lists the account holders, and it lists the account number.
Judge, permission to publish?
Any objection? Okay, you can publish. I was just about to ask, why is this on the screen?
I didn't put it on.
Okay, we can just turn that off if you don't mind. Thank you.
Lord, Kim Kardashian's phone went off. What is up with her dressing like Murphy Brown and Cokie Roberts? What is going on here?
She can't see it.
You want the witness to come down?
If we could, Judge, please.
You can. Come on down. Just please make sure you speak up.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Detective Bassender, if you could, can you just take us through each of these and explain what we're looking at here? So, for example, I'm going to draw your attention to where it says number 1. What is that?
Number 1 is the trust account that I've mentioned to you at TD Bank. The title of the account is
Why are we
called
looking at
ATF
him
Keith
instead
Caneiro
of the board?
Irrevocable Trust Agreement dated July 27th, 1999, listing Keith Caneiro as grantor and Paul Caneiro as trustee. TD Bank has titled this a business checking account. Again, this is reflecting TD Bank, and the account number, is 786-324-5465.
For purposes of the rest of your testimony, is it okay if we refer to the last 4 numbers of the account numbers here?
Yes.
Okay. What are we looking at number 2?
Number 2 is a personal account.
I keep waiting for the lawyer Milton right there to do the average Joe, like L for love, in dodgeball. I just want him to start saying, like, I would like my stapler, please. I was told that there would be cake, and last time I didn't have cake, and I was sad.
Individual checking account maintained at TD Bank in the name of Paul Caneiro. The account number is 786-239-3837.
Number 3?
Number 3 is a joint checking account maintained at TD Bank, and the account holders are Paul Caneiro and his wife Susan Caneiro. The account number is 786-206-3760.
How about number 4?
Number 4 is a checking account maintained at Affinity Federal Credit Union in the name of Paul Caneiro. The account number is 751-5502.
Number 5?
Number 5 is a TD convenient checking account maintained at TD Bank, a joint account in the name of Caitlin Caneiro, the daughter of Paul Caneiro. So the account is in Caitlin Caneiro and Paul Caneiro's name. The account number is 424-931-3886.
Now, numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, are those the 4 accounts that you spoke of that the defendant has?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go on to what is number, if you could go through number 6 with us.
Okay, number 6 is an operating account maintained at TD Bank. The operating account is J. Morton Consulting, Inc., doing business as Square One, so I'll refer to the business as Square One. But that is their operating account. The account number is 685-504-1396.
Number 7?
Number 7 is the payroll account at TD Bank for Square One, and the account holder is listed as J. Morton Consulting, Inc., doing business as Square One. The account number is 685-504-1388.
How about number 8?
Number 8 is the operating account maintained at TD Bank in the other business, which is called EcoStar Pest Management, Inc. The account number is 432-041-7234.
And number 9.
Is the payroll account for EcoStar maintained at TD Bank. The account holder name is EcoStar Pest Management, Inc., and the account number is 432-041-7101.
Thank you, Detective. You can have a seat. The bank accounts that are listed up on this board right here, which is S28. Did you review the bank statements for each of those accounts?
Yes, I did.
For what years for each?
2014 through 2018, November 20th, 2018.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been marked as S29 through S3.
No, Tammy, she's actually a former IRS special agent and now financial crimes investigator for the DA's office. So this investigation was kind of twofold. There was the homicide arson investigation and then financial crimes investigation, because the state was kind of confused as to why all of this went down. So she is actually going to be the one that will probably be taking us through how Paul was taking money from the trust account, mislabeling bank statements, and then also where that money was allegedly going, or maybe she ferreted out exactly where that money was supposed to go and then wasn't going.
I'm showing counsel first. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yeah, can you just tell me the numbers one more time?
S29
Okay,
through, it would be S38, and then I will take your page.
great, thank you.
Working for the IRS must not make you happy. She's got scowly face. I just want to do so much with you, ma'am. Okay, this hair color is a little too brassy for you. Low lights, add dimension. Take care of this 1970s shag. Deep condition. Lighten up your foundation. Peachy tones. A brighter lip. You look angry, and you could look much better. I just want to change all of you. I feel bad. I'm always like, oh, I do this and this. And then I realize I suck at girl too. I can teach, but not do. Who knows? But if she did lighten up her makeup a little bit, I think it would really lift her look and make her look less severe. The very dark kind of cheekbone is very severe, but maybe she wants to look severe.
I know this is a lot, Detective, but I'm going to ask you, I'm showing you what's been marked as S29 through S38. We're going to start with S29. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is the bank statements from TD Bank in the name of Paul Caneiro. The account number, can I just say the last 4 digits
Yes.
for these? The account number ends in 3837, and the statement period is from December 24th, 2016, and it ends
Yes.
just S29.
Oh, stop licking your fingers. I was on your side, ma'am.
Detective, if I could, are these the bank statements for 2017 for 3837?
Yes, and it ends January 23rd, 2018.
Okay, and are there also the deposit slips attached to those bank statements?
Yes, there are.
Okay, and does this correspond to number 2 on the board over there?
If number 2 is 3837, then yes, it does. I can't see from here.
That's okay. All right, I'm going to take that from you. Can you come right here? S30?
S30 are bank statements from TD Bank in the name of Paul Caneiro, ending in account number 3837. These statements are dated December 24th, 2017, and they run through December 27th, 2018.
Okay, thank you. And are the bank deposit slips attached?
Yes, they
I'll
are.
take that from you. S31.
S31 are bank statements from Affinity Federal Credit Union in the name of Paul Caneiro. The
Thank you,
account
Denise.
ending
Tammy,
in
that sounds like a wonderful
5502.
idea.
The statements cover the period January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017.
S30.
Now, with something that is so completely dense, I know from the voir dire we're not going to get the female defense attorney, but I feel like she has more attention to detail and will not make this torture. But I fear on cross we are going to get ponytail and years of cross.
2.
Are bank statements from Affinity Federal Credit Union in the name of Paul Caneiro, ending in 5502. This has a variety of account numbers on it. They are dated January 1st, 2018, and through December 31st, 2018.
Okay, do you see S33?
S33 are bank statements from TD Bank in the name of Paul Caneiro and Susan Caneiro, ending in account number 3760. These statements period begins December 24th, 2016, and the statement period ends January 23rd, 2018.
S34.
S34 are bank statements from TD Bank. Excuse me. In the name of Paul and Susan Caneiro, ending in account number 3760. The statement period covers December 24th, 2017, and the last date is December 28th, 2018.
S35.
These are bank statements from TD Bank in the name of Caitlin Caneiro and Paul Caneiro. The account number ends in 3886. The statement period covers December 14th, 2016, and the statement period concludes on January 13th, 2018.
Okay, and S36.
Are statements from TD Bank in the name of Caitlin Caneiro, Paul Caneiro, ending in account number 3886. The statement period.
I think that's going to be one of his adult daughters, but they were both grown, so it is a little awkward to me that they have, joint accounts, but maybe they're still in college at that point. I don't know.
Begins on December 14th, 2017, and the last date is December 26th, 2018.
And the last two, S37.
Are statements from TD Bank in the account holder is ATF Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust Agreement dated July 27th, 1999. Keith Caneiro Grantor, Paul Caneiro Trustee. The ending account number is 5465. The statement period begins January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017.
Did you mean 2018? Or 17, I'm sorry. You're right. And finally, S38.
Are statements from TD Bank. The account holder is listed as ATF Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust Agreement dated July 27th, 1999. Keith Caneiro Grantor, Paul Caneiro Trustee. The account number ends in 5465. The statement period begins January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018.
Thank you, Detective. Did you obtain each of these bank statements through legal process?
Yes, I did.
Meaning you obtained them directly from the bank?
Yes, I did.
And did you review each one of them in terms of your conducting your analyses?
Yes, I did.
Now, what, if anything, did you do to memorialize your analysis with regards to what you had mentioned earlier, the defendant's revenue, sources of revenue, and sources of income for the years 2017 and 2018?
I prepared a report, and then I also prepared a supplemental report.
Showing defense counsel S39 and S40. I'm showing you what's been marked as S39 and S40. Let's start with S39. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is a summary of sources of revenue and income and expenses for the period 2017 and 2018.
Is S39 though? Is that a report?
It's
That's your report, right?
it's my report.
Okay, what's
Yes.
the date?
This is dated July 21st, 2025.
All right, and how about S40? Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
This is a supplemental report dated December 8th, 2025, and this includes corrections.
Okay, and those, just to be clear, those are both your reports that you created, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what, if any, summary charts of your analyses did you create?
I created a summary chart of revenue for 2018, and I created a summary chart of expenses for 2017 and 18.
And where are those summary charts reflected?
They are reflected in the most updated summary charts are reflected in the December 8th.
I really hope that this expert is able to demystify all this because as a juror, I mean, these are a lot of accounts. There's 9 accounts, plus, all of the ways that the money is going to move through that. So I hope that her charts are very easy to understand because the state is asking the jury to intake a lot of fiscal information and make sense of it. So hopefully this expert is very good at simplifying but not condescending.
2025 report.
So S40?
Yes.
Specifically, I'm going to draw your attention to pages 3 on that report.
Yes.
What are we looking at there?
Page 3 lists the sources of revenue and income for the years 2017 and 18.
How about pages 4 and 5? What does that reflect?
4 and 5 reflect expenses for the years 2017 and 18.
Are you aware of whether there were any boards prepared to reflect pages 3 through 5 of your report?
Yes.
Showing counsel has been marked as S40A and S40B.
Ma'am, okay, I know I've said this, but honestly, white eyeliner, it opens up your eyes. Look, I saw it and I was actually leery of it, but it does work. Now I'm wearing black eyeliner, but if you take it on really hard, it can really, really kind of get in there. And I've never liked that look, but it's just because I don't like finances. I am trying to avoid her talking anymore.
May I first?
You can.
Let me just start detective with S40A. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
That's the chart I prepared of sources of revenue and income for the years 2017 and 18.
And is this in the same exact condition with the same exact substance as what is in your report on pages?
Yes, on page 3.
Page 3. I'm showing you what's been marked as S40A. B, I'm sorry. What is this?
This is the chart of the expenses for the years 2017 and 2018.
And is this reflected on pages 4 and 5 of your report?
Yes, it is.
And is it in the exact same condition as it is in your report?
Yes, it is.
I'd like to start with expenses, permission to publish S40B.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Ken? Fine.
Make it easier. I'm going to show you, and I'll show counsel, just what's been marked as S28. Just a copy of that board. Can you just tell us what that is?
This is the listing of the 9 accounts that I previously spoke about and are listed on the board over there.
Okay, so that is, I forget the number, just to be clear for the record, a reflection of S28.
Yes.
I'm going to ask to keep that with you, just so you have it to reference.
Okay.
All right. S40B, which is reflected on pages 4 and 5 of your expert report. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can you just generally explain what we're looking at?
Yes, this is the list of expenses for the years 2017 and 18. It covers categories to include tax debt, mortgage payments, auto loan and lease payments, credit card payments, insurance payments, utility payments, educational costs, and miscellaneous payments, as well as payments made to Canada Life Insurance Company.
think if you don't mind, I think it would be better if you put it right in the middle, so that everyone can see it. It's kind of in the middle for everyone. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, go ahead.
With a total listing per year for 17 and also 18.
Okay, so there's essentially the categories that go down through 2017 and the 2018?
It
Yes.
is
Okay, and then
feathered
each
and
category has a
feathered.
total, is that right?
Yes,
And then is there a total expenditure reflected for 2017
yes,
and 2018?
yes.
Let's start with the first category. What does that say, the first category at the top?
Tax debt.
Okay, and what is listed under tax debt?
These are payments made to the Internal Revenue Service. Payments were made in amounts of approximately $1,265 a month. In the year 2017, there was a larger payment within that year. So for 2017, the total payments made to the IRS is $40,523. And in 2018, total payments made to the IRS were $15,107.
And just to be clear, these payments came from which of the 4 accounts of the defendants? If you could just say the last 4 numbers.
It came from number 2, the account ending in 3837, the defendant's personal account.
Okay, do you know what kind of payments they were? Electronic? checks,
Electronic.
something else? Electronic. What is the next category?
The next category is mortgage. These payments were made to City Mortgage. The payments were in the amount of approximately $3,050 per month. In 2017, those payments totaled
Does your house have like a robot butler? $3,500 a month? Now, I get it. This is New Jersey. House prices, I'm sure, are more expensive. But holy crabapple. It makes me anxious just hearing these numbers.
$6,600. In 2018, the payments totaled $33,550.
Which of the defendant's 4 bank accounts did those come from?
These payments were made from account 2, ending in 3837.
What type of payments were they?
Electronic payments.
What is the next category?
The next category is auto loan and lease. The defendant had 3 Porsche leases, and in 2017, those leases.
Okay, now call me crazy and maybe I just don't understand things, but why in the name of all that is holy and hoodly would you lease a car? It makes no sense to me. It seems like the dumbest waste of money ever. Now, maybe there are benefits. I have no idea. Like I said, Mr. Mo has mostly taken care of making all of our fiscal. I mean, I do input. We like talk about goals and then he plots out how to get there with our finances. So it's a collaborative effort, but yeah, I don't understand leasing a car. I mean, I understand renting an apartment, but leasing a car has never made sense to me. Now, rest assured, I did dumb fiscal stuff in my 20s, like get a Victoria's Secret credit card because I would get $50 off in a free bag if I signed up today. So, like I said, I have made dumb financial choices, just not leasing a car.
Payments totaled $39,846.51. And in 2018, those payments totaled $25,906.90. These were electronic payments made from account 2, ending in 3837.
What is right under that?
Alley Financial Auto. This was a payment. The defendant purchased a 2016 Jeep Wrangler in the amount of approximately $49,696 from Reedman Toll Auto World in Pennsylvania. The auto loan was obtained from Alley Bank, and the term of the loan was 60 months, 5 years. The monthly payment was $828.28, and this totaled in 2017 $10,054.97, and in 2018 payments totaled $9,906.20.
Which of the defendant's 4 bank accounts did those payments come from?
These payments came from account number 2, ending in 3837.
The next category says credit cards. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, when you're talking about credit cards, are those personal credit cards, business, or something else?
These credit cards here specifically, there's 2 credit cards from the American Express credit card company that are in the defendant's name. One credit card is in the defendant's name solely, and the other credit card, I observed the wife and children also having a card attached to that account. The defendant utilized 2 bank accounts, number 2, ending in 3837, and also number 4 from Affinity Federal Credit Union, ending in 5502. So those 2 accounts made payments to those 2 credit cards in both years.
So I'm sorry, just for the first one, American Express, the first one, in order, for 2017, what was the total payments?
$143,049.
Well, so we lost a neutral, and the power company is going to come back, and it's actually kind of a blessing in disguise. So they put up a temporary box and gave us their personal number. So if the power starts flickering, we are to turn off, the box and call them. And, that may sound scary, but we are so, so lucky that we invested in a wood-burning stove so we can have warmth and heat. And Mr. Mo has been very diligent at keeping firewood. So, as worrying as it is, it's not terrible, and we'll stay warm. So hopefully everything stays up, because I don't know that I can count on my sanity if I have the 3 feral boys and no internet. But we will all be warm, not sane, but warm.
And 8 cents.
How about 2018?
$120,085.51.
Now, for the next one under that, the American Express, for 2017, what was the total expenditure that the defendant paid?
$18,342.13.
2018?
$43,044.35.
The next credit card listed says Bank of America. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay, and what is the total expenditure for 2017?
$15,623.96.
In 2018?
$20,089.
She is actually a former IRS special agent and fiscal crime investigator for the DA's office. So she has the experience to, I guess, do the fiscal auditing on any sort of potential financial crime. And since the state has added the kind of embezzlement from the trust of the $78,000 over the, I think, year prior to Keith and the quadruple homicide, they are adding it as motive. So she's kind of here, I think, to make sense of all the numbers and prove that Paul was using money that was supposed to be going to Keith's life insurance for his own personal expenditures.
$51.
And from which bank account of the 4 bank accounts did that come from?
Account number 2, ending in 3837.
The next credit card, Chase card.
Chase card in 2017, payments totaled $7,281.83. And in 18, payments totaled $3,473. These payments were made from account 2, ending in 3837.
The next
Is he only paying the interest? Because all the payments are much less than the balances. And I may be blonde under here, but I know that's not going to get you out of debt.
one, TD retail card. Do you see that?
Yes, in 2017 and in 2018, payments were $1,680 in each year, and those payments were made from account 2, ending in 3837.
And finally, the Citibank card.
Citibank in 2017, payments totaling $12,473.11 were made, and in 2018, payments in the amount of $6,211 were made from account 2, ending in 3837.
The next category lists insurance. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what is Chubb and Son?
Chubb & Son is an insurance company where the defendant maintained his homeowners.
Who in the hell buys home insurance from Chubb and Son? I mean, I would, because it sounds hilarious. And I'd be like, if you're in a schlub, call a Chubb. I don't know. I would make funny things about it. And of course, I would buy insurance because it had a funny name. But I would think not other adults wouldn't.
Policy.
Okay, and can you please tell us what the total expense was for 2017?
Yes, in 2017, the amount was $5,137.94, and in 2018, the amount was $2,905.81.
And that came from what bank account?
Account 2, ending in 3837.
And by the way, these payments that we're referring to, are they electronic payments?
Electronic.
Utilities, do you see that category?
I would watch that commercial and buy that insurance right then and there so I would get the free t-shirt. Now, this is why I married Mr. Mo, because Mr. Mo would not do that for a funny t-shirt. I would. We balance each other out.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Utilities consisted of Burst Energy, JCP&L. Payments for 2017 amounted to $5,147.84. In 2018, payments amounted to $4,915.05.
The next category is New Jersey Natural Gas.
In 2017, payments totaled $3,275.24, and in 2018, payments totaled $2,519.29.
New Jersey American Water.
In 2017, payments totaled $1,682.14. In 2018, payments totaled $1,436.13.
And finally, Township of Ocean Sewer.
Payments totaled $460 for both 2017 and 2018.
Did all of those
That's not
utility
bad for
payments come
sewer.
from the same bank account?
Yes, account number 2, ending in 3837.
The next category is educational costs. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. So let's start with, I want to start with 2018. Can you explain what we're looking at?
Yes, this is educational costs that were paid to Discover, which indicated on the payment it was a student loan payment. In 2018, the payment total was $2,525.
Over the course of your review, Detective, did you see any other payments from any of the defendant's accounts in 2018 that went to some sort of educational or school loan?
I did not.
Now, let's go to 2017. What is that?
This is a payment to Brookdale Community College in the amount of $1,757.50, which was made from account 2, ending in 3837.
All right, when we get to the miscellaneous category, do you see where it says Woodshire Apartments?
Yes,
Okay, and under 2017, there's a total listed there. What is that?
$2,673.
And what is Woodshire Apartments?
It is an apartment complex in Ocean Township.
Did any of the witnesses that you spoke to that you mentioned earlier live in Woodshire Apartments? Who is
Yes,
that?
Yusel Restrepo.
Yardy Service is next.
Doherty Service in 2000.
Wait a minute. Did Paul have a side chick that he was paying for her apartment? Also, I've seen his face. How did he have a side chick? I am waiting with bated breath.
17 payments totaled $3,666
And where did that come from? Which account?
from the defendant's account number 2, ending in 3837.
Restoration Hardware.
Restoration Hardware payments totaled $15,720.47 in 2017. In 2018, payments totaled $7,701.17.
And where did those come from?
Account number 2, ending in 3837.
Next category is Tiffany and Company. Do you see that?
Yes. In 2017, payments totaled $17,714, and in 2018, payments totaled $2,625.
Making from which bank account?
Account number 2, ending in 3837.
Volkswagen Audi. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay, and can you tell us, so just 2018, is that accurate?
Yes.
What was the total amount?
The total amount was $9,900.
Wait, no. Explain the car sanity to me because we've got, what is it, 5 Porsche leases. We've got a Jeep Wrangler that we bought, and now we have an Audi. How many cars do these people need?
$20.78.
Okay, and that came from which account?
Account number 2, ending in 3837.
Did you review the records from Volkswagen Audi?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what anything did you learn from those records?
That Yusel Restrepo leased a 2018 Audi Q5 SUV from Audi in Eatontown. The invoice was listed at $53,766.13. The payments were made from the defendant's account to VW credit in the amount stated.
Now, the last category on there is Canada Life Insurance Company, Keith Caneiro Trust. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and under 2017, what is the amount listed?
19,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm wondering, if he was robbing his brother to pay for his side piece. Also, again, I ask the question, is there any financial or logical reason or pro to leasing a car? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to rent a car that depreciates in value, but you're basically paying it does. I don't understand.
$880.
Okay, and that came from which of the defendant's accounts?
That came from account number 2, ending in 3837.
Was there anything paid to Canada Life in 2018 from any of the defendant's personal accounts?
No.
Okay, so what is the total expenses in 2017?
$402,588.72.
And how about 2018?
$314,061.70.
Before we move on to the sources of revenue that you analyzed, I just want to ask you some questions about Canada Life. So if you could tell us, right, I think you may have said it before, but just clarify, what is Canada Life?
Canada Life Assurance Company is the company where the Keith Caneiro life insurance policy was held.
And I think before you indicated that you obtained records from Canada Life.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Those records, did they include Keith Caneiro's whole life insurance policy?
Yes, it did.
Did those records include Keith Caneiro's application for that policy?
Yes, it did.
And did those records include the trust document itself?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Did you review those three documents?
Yes, I did.
I'm showing counsel what is marked as S26, S42, and then S43. May I approach?
You can.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as S26, S42, and S43. We'll start with S26. What is that?
S26 is the Keith Caneiro irrevocable trust agreement.
Okay, and how about S42?
S42 is the Canada Life Assurance Company policy.
And S43?
Is the Canada Life Assurance Company application.
I'd like you to take a look, if we could, at S26 first, the Keith Caneiro irrevocable life insurance. I'm sorry, S42, the Keith Caneiro whole life insurance policy. Do you see that?
Yes.
How many pages is that document?
17.
Are the terms of the life insurance policy contract outlined in that document?
Yes.
If we could go, what is on page 1 of that document?
Page 1 is the cover sheet for the whole life insurance policy.
Okay, and page 2?
Page 2 is the table of contents.
And page 3 is what?
Policy details.
Judge's statement seek permission to publish S42.
Any objection?
Could we just go
Ponytail.
sidebar?
You can.
All right, sidebar. Interesting. Now, I can't imagine what they're actually going to be arguing about, since these were all records that were obtained lawfully and they have laid foundation.
Just to give everyone a chance to take a break, we'll start back up at 10 minutes after 10. First time reading a clock.
I love speeding through the breaks. That was the hardest thing about the Uvalde thing. It's we couldn't speed through stuff. Now, Paul does seem to have earbuds on, so when they go to sidebar, he can listen in. And they're still on sidebar.
Prosecutor, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Detective, we left off looking at S42, the Keith Caneiro whole life insurance policy. Do you have that in front of you?
Yes, I do.
And Judge, I asked for permission to publish, and I think I gave the court a copy.
I do have a copy of that. There was no objection to it, so go ahead.
Detective, I believe you indicated, how many pages is this?
17.
We can, all right. Do you see what's on the screen?
I do.
That's page 1?
Yes.
Right, is that essentially just the cover page of the policy?
Yes.
Okay, and then if we could scroll, just go through to page 2, please. Is that the table of contents?
Yes.
All right, finally, I want to get to page 3. Do you see page 3, Detective?
Yes.
Okay, is there a policy number listed?
Yes.
What is that?
2661587.
Who is the insured listed as?
Keith M. Caneiro,
And is there an age?
31.
And what is the face value amount listed?
$3 million.
And what is the policy date listed?
July 28th, 1999.
If we can go to page 13, please. Detective, do you see in the middle of the page where it says beneficiary?
Yes.
The only thing I'm going to ask you to do this, but if you could, can you please read that for us, because the print is small up here.
Sure. While the insured is living, you may appoint one or more beneficiaries and may revoke an appointment unless you made it irrevocable. If you have reserved the right to change the beneficiary, you may do so by written request. You must revoke any previous appointments and designate the new person or persons to be beneficiary or beneficiaries. Continue?
Yes, please, just
No.
beneficiary.
No appointment or change in appointment will take effect unless we receive the request. When received, the request will take effect as of the date it was signed, subject to payment or other action taken by us before it was received. The beneficiaries of this policy shall be as stated in the application unless later changed. We will pay the amount due at the death of the insured under the beneficiary appointment in effect at the date of death. If more than one beneficiary has been appointed and one or more of them dies, the proceeds will be paid to the surviving beneficiaries equally unless otherwise designated. If no other beneficiary is alive at the date of the insured, or if none has been appointed, we will pay the proceeds to you or to your estate.
Detective, who, to your knowledge, if you know, based upon your review of these documents, who was the beneficiary of this life insurance policy contract?
The Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Life Trust
And where is that listed
I think it
specifically?
is.
on the application.
Can I take that back from you? I'm going to ask you to take a look at S43 now. Do you see that, Detective S43?
Yes, on my copy.
Okay, and what is that?
This is the application.
The application? Okay, and how many pages is it?
This is
Yeah, I would imagine a
I'm sorry, you're not in the works
3.5
up here.
or a 3 million.
9.
How many?
I believe 9.
Okay. Judge, permission to publish.
You can. We've already discussed that with defense counsel.
If we could just go down to page 6, please.
And as not a lawyer, the only thing I'm guessing, and this is just a guess, as to why they can't put the application of or for the life insurance, publish it, is that there might be medical questions or records involved in getting a whole life, insurance policy at 3 million. I'm assuming that they want you to have like doctor's appointments and all sorts of, medical disclosures. So there might be issues that they want to keep, or that the defense argued were HIPAA violations. As not a lawyer, that's the only thing I can assume.
Detective, do you see this page in front of you?
Yes,
Okay. Are there signatures on there?
yes,
Okay. And then is there a date?
yes.
What is the date that this is signed?
August 9th, 1999.
Okay, if we could just go to section 1 on page 1, please. Detective, I'm going to refer your attention to that section, section 1, page 1. And is there some information in section 1, page 1?
Yes.
Okay, and specifically, is there a name up there?
The primary insured information
Yes.
is Keith M. Caneiro.
Okay, and the address is listed as New York?
Yes.
Okay, and then the employer is listed as what?
J. Martin Consulting, Inc., which is Square One.
If we could scroll down.
Okay, so I have figured out who is eating the candy. It is Kim Kardashian. And ma'am, if you want to be all, surreptitious about snacking like a fiend in the courtroom, don't crinkle wrapper next to the microphone.
Now we're still on page 1, section 4. Do you see where it says owner information?
Yes.
Okay, and what does it say up there as to owner information?
The owner is Keith Caneiro, Irrevocable Trust Agreement dated July 27th, 1999.
And what is the address listed as?
27 Tilton Drive, Wayside, New Jersey, 07712.
Okay, and what's listed in front of that address then?
Paul Caneiro as trustee, in parentheses, settler.
If we can now look at, it's still page 1, but section 5 right there where it says beneficiaries, do you see that? And
Yes.
what is listed as the beneficiary?
Under primary, it's listed Paul Caneiro, trustee of the Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust Agreement dated July 27th, 1999, and the address as 27 Tilton Drive, Wayside, New Jersey, 07712.
All right, still on page 1, if I'm going to direct your attention to section 6 where it says premium payment, do you see that?
Yes,
Do you see section A, mode?
yes,
Okay, what does that list?
an annual premium payment.
Did that later change at some point?
Yes,
What did it change to in terms of the frequency of the premium payments?
to quarterly.
Okay, and do you see section B where it says send premium notice to owners?
Yes,
Okay, and what is listed there?
the box residence is checked off, and the address for that residence is 27 Tilton Drive, Wayside, New Jersey, 07712.
Just to be clear, whose address is that?
The defendant, Paul Caneiro.
Okay, if we can go to page 2, please, section 8. You see where it says in the middle of the page, sort of at the top, whole life,
Yes,
and then section B,
yes,
face value amount, what is listed there?
$3 million.
Okay, and then looking down at section 8, where it says automatic premium loan, question mark, and a yes or no, what is checked off?
Yes,
And then we look at the signatures on page 6. Thank you. Detective, in the course of your review of the Canada Life documents, did you review something called the Canada Life annual policy statements?
yes.
How many specifically did you review?
Canada Life policy statements. Well, the policy was 17 pages. I reviewed the policy and the application and the trust agreement.
Okay, I'm sorry, did you review the annual life policy statements for 2017 and 2018?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that makes more sense. Now, I really hope that the state does a good job marrying this all together, because if the jury is anything like me, we can kind of see the bare bones, but it's very hard for me to kind of intake fiscal stuff without a kind of clear line. Like, you know, if she can take us from here to here clearly, because there's a lot of accounts. I mean, most people don't have 9 bank accounts, 2 different business accounts, and things like that. So she'll need to really simplify and show where this money was going.
For the record, I'm showing counsel what's been marked as S44 and S45. Just may I approach?
You can.
I have copies.
Thank you.
Generally speaking, Detective, do you recognize S44 and S45?
Yes, I do.
What are those?
These are the annual policy statement for 2017, dated July 28, 17, and also dated July 28, 2018, from Canada Life,
Okay, so S44 corresponds with what? What year?
2017.
Okay, is there a date on there?
Yes, the date of the statement is July 28, 2017.
And is the frequency of the premium payments indicated on those 2 documents?
Yes,
And what is that?
quarterly.
Okay, and how about those payments? Is there an amount listed?
Yes,
And what is that?
$7,854.60.
Is there an address listed on there?
There is an address up top for the statement,
And what address is that?
27 Tilton Drive, Wayside, New Jersey, 07712.
Okay, moving on to S45, what year does that correspond to with regard to the annual policy statements?
2018,
What is the date on there?
July 28th, 2018,
And how many pages is that one?
2 pages.
Okay, and is the same information with regards to the premium payments listed on there?
Yes,
Okay. And is that the same amount, the $7,854.60 per quarter?
yes.
Take these back from here. Before we move on, Detective, to the sources of revenue that you analyzed, I want to ask you some questions about the TD Trust bank account 5465, named ATF Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust Agreement. You indicated that you reviewed bank records pertaining to this account?
Yes,
Okay, and did you obtain, I think you said you obtained those through legal process?
yes, I did.
Now, earlier I showed you S37 and S38 bank statements from that account.
Now, this is where we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. This is the account where Keith Caneiro would take money and put it into that account, and Paul was supposed to be paying the Canada Life insurance. kind of as a safety and fiscal tool to kind of, have a safety net for his family as they were transitioning away from, being business owners into Keith was wanting to go work as a computer analyst for someone.
For the years 2017 and 18, do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How far back did the statements go that you reviewed?
Back to 2014.
Okay. What kind of an account is this?
This account is a business convenient checking account offered by TD Bank.
And when was it opened?
This account was opened May 25th, 2006.
When you reviewed the documents that you received from that TD Bank account in regards to this, did you receive a business signature card?
Yes, I did.
What is that?
Signature card lists the account holders of the account.
I'm showing counsel S46. May I approach, Judge?
You can.
Detective, do you recognize S46?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is the business signature card for the Keith Caneiro irrevocable trust agreement dated July 27th, 1999.
Okay. And is there a date on that signature card?
Yes, there is.
And what is that?
May 25th, 2016.
Okay. And is there other information listed at the top?
Yes, there
What
is.
is that?
The account holder, Keith Caneiro as grantor, Paul Caneiro as trustee, the full account number of the account, which ends in 5465. Paul Caneiro's name is listed as the vice president and a signature. And Keith Caneiro is listed as president.
I'll take that back from you. Detective, during the course of your review, were you able to determine how this particular account, 5456, the TD Trust account, was funded?
Yes.
How was that?
This account was funded through payroll checks from Keith Caneiro, from Jay Martin, and then in time, it was from Jay Martin and EcoStore.
Okay.
They
Sorry.
were direct deposits into the account from payroll.
Aside from those direct deposits from payroll, did you see this account being funded in any other way?
In 2017 and 18, no.
Based upon your review of these bank statements for 2017 and 2018, where were funds going out of from this account and to?
Funds were going out to the defendant's bank accounts and Canada Life.
Anywhere else besides the defendant's bank accounts and Canada Life?
Yeah.
You say defendant's bank accounts. Did the monies go to multiple accounts or just one?
Multiple accounts.
Okay, of the board, I believe it's S28, can you just tell us which accounts you saw money going into in 2017 and 18 from the TD Trust checking account 5465?
Yes, collectively for both years, funds went into account number 2 in the name of Paul Caneiro, TD Bank, ending in 3837. Funds in both years went into the joint account of Paul and Susan Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3760. And in 2017, funds went into the account of Caitlin Caneiro and Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3886.
Detective, when you prepared your report and your summary chart of the defendant's sources of revenue for the years 2017 and 18, did you include these funds in that chart?
Yes, I did.
So basically, this is a really big point, and the state is probably going to go deeper into this. But Keith Caneiro, at no point that the state gave Paul any approval to move money out of that account, out of the trust account, to do anything other than pay the Canada Trust. And he was unaware that this money was going to these separate things.
Detective, I previously showed you what's been marked as S40A, the sources of revenue. Judge, the state would seek permission to publish that.
Any objection?
No, thank you.
You can.
Thank you, Judge. Did identify any steady or consistent streams of revenue that he received for those years?
Yes, I did.
And on the chart specifically, can you point to us where that would be?
Yes, steady streams of revenue occurred in the category titled disability. Also, business income, and under the title Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust, which is under additional revenue sources.
Now, there are other sources of revenue on that chart, right?
Yes,
What were those, generally speaking?
could be a loan, could be a distribution from a 401k, it could be one-off deposits into the account as a revenue stream.
Let's start with the first category, disability insurance payments. What is listed as the first item under that category?
The first item is disability benefits that came from U.S. Treasury Social Security. In 2017, the total was $141,364.
I'm not trying to be insane, but I have never heard of anyone getting that much from SSID disability payments. I mean, did he have a supplemental disability policy? Or do I need to move to New Jersey before I file for my disability? Because asking for a friend.
And in 2018, the total is $29,352.
That sounds about more
Now,
right.
for the year 2017 and 2018, did all of those payments go into one of those four accounts of the defendants?
Yes,
Which one was that?
into account number 2, ending in 3837.
Okay. For the time frame of 2018, you indicated that the defendant received $29,352.
Yes.
Do you recall what dates he received those payments on?
They were typically monthly payments in amounts ranging from $1,700 through $2,527.
The second category says Sun Life disability insurance payments. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And can you just explain to us what that is?
Yes. Jay Martin, also known as Square One, had used Sun Life as their company to provide disability to employees. That's where Sun Life comes in through the company.
Oh,
Okay. And in 2017, how much did the defendant collect from that?
$60,000 in 2017, and in 2018, $9,540.
Now, in 2017, what bank account did those funds go into?
These funds went into account number 2, 3837
And
at
how
TD
about
Bank.
in 2018?
In 18, there were 2 checks, in 18, they went into account 2, 3837. I want to retract that. In 18, there were 2 checks in November and December of 18, and they went into the joint account of Susan and Paul Caneiro, ending in 3760.
Do you recall the specific dates of those 2 checks in 2018?
Yes. One check is dated November 20th, 2018, in the amount of $2,110. And the second check is dated December 20th, 2018, in the amount of $7,430.
The next category says Unum disability insurance payments. What is that?
Unum Disability is a private disability plan obtained by the defendant.
And in 2017, how much revenue did the defendant receive from that plan?
In both years, he received the same amount, which is $100.
sorry. This is day 2. I do need to add that to the title. I was honestly not sure if this stream was going to work, so I do need to add that. But this is day 2. And this is witness 5. She is a former IRS agent. Now she works with the DA to investigate fiscal crimes. And she's kind of laying out where the money that Paul took from his brother's trust actually went, and what his expenses were versus what he was spending in the time before the quadruple homicide. I actually do appreciate, as boring and mind-numbing as this is for me, and I'm sure the jury, if you don't have sort of a fiscal mind or a numbers kind of mind, I do appreciate that the state is starting here, because when we do get to the quadruple homicide that Paul is allegedly accused of having done, it does involve children and it is quite gruesome. So I do think that the state did a good job in kind of easing the jury into the more horrible parts of this trial.
$104,390 into account number 2, ending in 3837.
Okay, the next category lists business income. Do you see that?
Yes,
And the first item under there, I'm going to draw your attention to where it says J. Martin Square 1. Do you see that?
yes.
Okay, now, in 2017, how much revenue did the defendant and his family receive through payroll from the businesses?
In 2017, $108,636. In 2018, the amount is $117,851.
Just to clarify, does that reflect a gross or a net?
Gross.
Now, in 2017, was there also an auto reimbursement that the defendant and his family received?
Yes.
What was that?
$27,290.11. And in 2018, $36,627.19.
Was that a lump sum or something else?
It was a lump sum added into the paycheck.
Would they receive it all at once, I'm asking, or was it put into the paycheck each pay period?
It was put into the paycheck.
Okay.
So you would have gross pay plus the auto reimbursement, then the deductions.
Understood. What, if any, other benefits did the defendant and his family receive through the businesses?
The business paid their health insurance.
Now, the next category under business is EcoStar. Do you see that?
Yes.
And for 2017, what was the amount that was received through income from the payroll to the defendant and his family?
$5,400 in 2017, and in 2018, $26,400.
And again, does that reflect gross or net?
Gross.
Now, I should back up. I should have asked you this. Let's go back for a second to J. Martin Square 1. In 2017, that $108,636, which account did that go into?
That went into the defendant's account. One moment.
Just if you're referring to your report.
I am referring to my report. Okay. In 2017, all the deposits were deposited into Affinity Federal Credit Union, account number 4. In 2018, they continue to be deposited into that account. However, on October 12th, 2018, through the end of November 2018, those deposits also went into account number 2, 3837.
And just to clarify, 3837 and the 1515 account?
5502. It's same, interchangeable. If you hear us say 1515 or 5502, the account was one number and then the bank changed it over to another number. It's the same account.
Whose names were those accounts in?
5502 is in the name of Paul Caneiro.
And 3837 as well?
Correct.
We just spoke about EcoStar, and you had indicated that, I believe in 2017, the payment was $5,400 for that year. What bank account did that go into?
Those deposits, I'm referring to my report, in 2017.
And I would draw your attention to page 4 of S39.
Yes, went into account 2, 3837.
Okay, and how about in 2018?
Those deposits also went into 3837. But again, later on in 2018, from October 19th, 18 through November 30th, they also went into 5502.
Okay. Now, the next category is Pacific Life Insurance Company,
Yes,
and there's just the 1 year there, 2017.
yes.
Okay, what is Pacific Life Insurance Company?
Pacific Life Insurance Company is a company that the business paid quarterly premium payments for life insurance. When you are on disability, your quarterly premium stops. So the business paid those quarterly premiums. At this point, the defendant, Paul Caneiro, was on disability. So this amount of $3,665.95 reflects Pacific Life giving back that premium payment, which he deposited into his account 23837. It's a one-off deposit.
Thank you. The next category is loans from 401k. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
In total, in 2017 and 2018, how many loans were taken from the 401k?
Actually, in 17, there's one, and it is a distribution of $28,350.
Okay. Do you recall the date that that was distributed?
April 4th, 2017 is when it was applied for. And on April 14th, 2017 is when the deposit occurred into account number 3, ending in 3760, the joint account of Paul and Susan Caneiro.
Do you recall I'm going to draw your attention to April 14th of 2017. Was there any monies later transferred on that date from that sum into a different account?
Yes. So on April 14th, 2017, the $28,350 was deposited into the joint account 3760. 3 days later, on April 17th, a transfer was made from that account number 3, into account number 2, the defendant's account at TD Bank ending in 3837. The amount of the transfer was $27,200.
I'm going to draw your attention to the next category, which is April of 2018. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and just explain to us what we're looking at here and what that source of revenue, where that came from.
Okay. This is a loan taken out from their employer's 401k. The loan was applied for on April 23rd, 2018.
And how much was that loan?
$14,000. The amount deposited into the account after fees was $14,093.74.
Okay. When was that amount deposited?
Why are they always taking loans out in April? Well, I guess to pay taxes, but that doesn't make sense why you would take a loan out to pay taxes when you're going to have to take a... Like I said, finances don't always make sense to me, so that's why I let Mr. Mo do them.
Okay. The amount of the deposit after the fees was on April 30th, 2018, and it came from Ameritrade Trust Company in the amount of $14,008.74, and that was deposited into the joint account with Susan and Paul Caneiro, account 3, ending in 3760.
Was any monies transferred from there into any of the defendant's other accounts?
Yes, on the same day, $14,000 was transferred into account 2, number 3837.
And finally, under May of 2018, do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and what are we looking at here?
Okay. This was a distribution. It was a hardship withdrawal applied for by Susan Caneiro in the amount of $50,000. After withholdings, deposit in the amount of $43,672.50 was deposited into the joint account of Paul and Susan Caneiro, account 3760, and that deposit occurred.
And even not being very fiscally aware, the numbers are not painting what the defense said that, I'm sorry, jury of poor people. Maybe, $78,000 of embezzlement sounds like a lot of money to you, but Paul was rolling in the cash. Well, if you're rolling in the cash, you don't constantly pillage your 401k to keep, every year, and continually rob your retirement fund.
On May 15th, 2018.
Was money transferred from that account, from that deposit anywhere else?
Yes, of the $43,672.50 that was deposited into the account, on the exact same day, $43,000 was transferred out and into the defendant's account number 2, ending in 3837.
Next category is bank account revenue sources. Do you see that?
Yes.
What are we looking at here?
Bank account revenue sources, consider this a revenue stream because in 2017, a total of $12,346.72 came into the defendant's account number 2, 3837. The transfers all came from Square One, which is account number 6, J. Martin Consulting Square One operating account. So transfers came in from the operating account, they stayed in the defendant's account, funds were not paid back, so it's on the chart as a revenue stream for 2017.
Now, in 2018, it looks like $21,548.86. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and there's a negative sign.
A negative.
Okay, what does that reflect?
Okay, so in this year, there was approximately 5,000 and change. I can be exact if you have bank statements in front of me, but there was a transfer from the same Square One account for over $5,000 into the defendant's personal account number 2 at 3837. After that, there were 4 transfers back into that business account. And those 4 transfers back totaled approximately $27,000. What I did is gave the defendant credit because I'll make it easy math. 5 came in, 27 went back, The difference is 22. That's easy math. I can give you the exact dates and amounts of the transfers and give you the exact.
No, easy math is good. You're talking to lawyers, and the reason that I'm lawyer adjacent is because I couldn't be engineer adjacent.
So I gave him credit for $21,548.86.
That's okay, but is that the accurate amount?
Yes.
That's on the chart?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, the defendant paid money from his personal account into the operating account?
Yes.
Okay. Was that from 3837?
Yes.
Okay. And then finally, underneath, we have EcoStar operating account. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In 2018 lists an amount. What is that?
$4,700.
Okay. And can you explain that to us?
Yes. In 2018, there were 4 transfers that went from EcoStar Pest Management Inc. operating account ending in 7234, which is number 8 on your chart. The dates and the amounts are as follows. On September 12, 2018, $2,500. On September 13, 2018, $500. On September 18, 2018, $1,000. On October 18, 2018, $700, totaling $4,700 into the defendant's account.
Okay. And then the next sources of revenue, it says additional revenue sources. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. The first category says checks from Usel Restrepo. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. For 2017, what is the total?
$2,257.
And 2018?
$920.99.
Next category says Penn State University refunds. Do you see that?
Yes.
In 2017, how much was that?
$4,414.
What was
Why
that?
is he getting a
essentially?
refund?
A refund from Penn State University.
Okay, and then the next category is Chubb Insurance Company. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and just refresh us as to what that is.
That is the company where the defendant maintains his homeowner's insurance policy.
Okay, and for 2018, you list $73,512. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and was that all one lump sum or was it broken up?
No, there was a Chubb payout on 2 separate claims. One claim was in the
There was a Chubb payout. I'm sorry. This is the only reason I would actually do this insurance is on the off chance that I get a Chubb payout. Like I said, there's a reason Mr. Mo is in charge of our adult decisions for most things.
amount of $62,753.68. That claim was in February of 2018, and then in March 2nd, 2018, a second claim in the amount of $10,759 was paid out. So this was a one-off revenue stream for those years, and they were included as a revenue stream.
Okay. The next category that you have is, and I believe it's the last category, is the Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust TD Bank 5465. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the TD Trust account that we have been speaking about?
Yes.
Okay, and it's listed as number 1 up on the number S28?
Yes.
Okay. Explain to us what we're looking at in your summary chart for 2017 and 18, please.
In 2017, a total of $33,680 was deposited into accounts in the defendant's name or joint accounts in the defendant's name.
From where?
These were deposited into account 2, Paul Caneiro, ending in 3837. The joint account, number 3, Paul Caneiro, Susan Caneiro, ending in 3760. And account number 5, Caitlin Caneiro and Paul Caneiro, ending in 3886.
Okay, but just to be clear, the $33,680, that came from where?
It came from the account number 1, ending in 5465, the Keith Caneiro Irrevocable Trust Agreement dated 7/20/799.
And how about 2018? How much revenue did the defendant receive from that TD Trust account?
Now, again, the TD Trust account should not have been going to Paul. And Paul, in fact, did pay back the money he embezzled in 2017, which was close to $25,000. Now, he did the same thing again and didn't pay that back. And Keith found out the night of his death that Paul again was embezzling from the trust account, and Keith's life insurance was not being paid.
$44,500.
I want to discuss and stay on, you know what, before we do that, let me ask you this. How did you first identify these electronic transfers out of that trust account into the defendant's bank accounts?
In reviewing the bank statements for the trust account, again, when I refer to the trust account, it's account number 1. I saw where the money was coming from. I then went back to those source documents, and I saw where the money was going to, and I went to those source documents, bank accounts, or companies.
So just to clarify, during the course of your investigation of all of the bank accounts, what did you review first?
Trust account.
And from there, that led you to,
Other accounts. So from there, when I saw the sources coming in, which was payroll and the businesses, I then through legal process obtained business accounts, bank accounts for both businesses operating in payroll. I also received documentation from the payroll companies. I saw funds going out to Canada Life, so I was able to get through legal process documents from Canada Life. I saw payments, also transfers being made to account number 2, Paul Caneiro, ending in 3837 at TD Bank. I saw transfers going to Paul and Susan's account at TD Bank, account number 3, ending in 3760. And I also saw a transfer going to Caitlin and Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3886.
okay, we spoke about this earlier, but I just wanted to be clear. Now, in 2017, the defendant did pay some money from his personal bank account directly to Canada Life, right?
Yes.
Okay. And specifically, that is reflected, or was reflected in S40B
think
under
so,
expenses for
yes.
2017, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that was $19,880 that you did.
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall which account that came from?
The 2 payments for $19,880. I just want to go back to refer to my report. They were made from account 2, ending in 3837.
And what types of transactions were those payments?
They were electronic payments made to Canada Life.
Was there anything, any sort of corroborating documentation that you reviewed from Canada Life indicating that the insurance company did in fact receive those payments from the defendant?
Yes, there were checks.
Now, this is very important that this witness discusses that she started with the trust account, because the defense's main argument is that the state zeroed in and had tunnel vision on Paul, you know, because they found all the evidence at Paul's house, but that they didn't look at the third brother of the Caneiro brothers, Corey, sorry. Now, I do think that the defense is grasping at straws, but it is very clear that, you know, Corey doesn't have links to the trust account. He didn't have links to the business account. He wasn't, I will have to double check. Let me double check. But it does indicate, you know, despite the defense saying that the police went in here with blinders on, that they started at, you know, a baseline and then went where the evidence showed them. They didn't just say, Paul looks super guilty, we'll just focus in on him. Okay. I do, with the new microphone, I have to manually turn myself up because it's a multifunction button, so I can never tell if I'm turning up the gain or the volume. So that helps me because I can only hear me normal.
So when I say it was electronic transfer, online bill pay, the recipient of the bill pay actually gets a check number on bill pay, even though it's an electronic submission. They receive a check.
I'm showing counsel what's been marked as S47 and 48. Judge, may I approach?
You can. Thank you.
Detective, if you can look at S47 first, what are we looking at?
S47 is a check paid to Canada Life Assurance Company. It's dated July 19th, 2017, in the amount of $8,000. And this came from the account of Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, account number ending in 3837.
Okay. And S48 is what?
S48 is a check paid to Canada Life Assurance Company in the amount of $11,880, dated August 2nd, 2017. This check was issued from the account of Paul Caneiro at TD Bank, ending in 3837.
Detective, I want to talk to you about the defendant's bank account 3837, specifically for the year 2017. If I showed you that bank account, would you be able to identify for us each transaction in that account where the defendant transferred money out of that TD Trust account into 3837?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked, and I'll show counsel first as S29. showed you S39, do you recognize that?
I do.
I'm sorry, 29, like S29, I believe that is.
Yes.
What is that?
This is a TD bank account in the name of Paul Caneiro. Account number ending in 3837. The statement period begins on December 24th, 2016.
Judge's statement seek permission to publish the bank account and bank statements.
Counsel?
No objection, Judge.
Okay, you can.
Oh, we just have to, there should be an undo button up there.
Should be in the bottom corner there. It's undo button. Do we have the little stylus for her? For the witness?
On your screen?
Yes.
In the corner, there's a little undo button, right hand corner.
Where?
Oh,
Here?
Yeah, if you
Oh,
follow,
no.
you just hold
Is that
it
it?
down. You have 3 seconds.
It's in the black area on the right, you can almost not see it.
All the way to the right in the bottom corner.
Yeah, if you look at the screen. Bottom right.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Let me see.
yes.
One more. Yeah.
All right.
We can go to the first page, just to orient us. At the top of the page, on the right, where it says statement period, what is that?
December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017.
Okay, what dates of the month do the bank statements start and end on here?
They start on the 24th, they end on the 23rd.
Okay, just to clarify, the pages are numbered that way, so with the 24th being page 1, and then the 20, or the last page would be the last page. The last
Correct.
page, okay. If we could go to page 3, please, for a moment. Just to get us familiar with the layout of this. So the top right of the page up there, what are we looking at? What date is this?
It's dated statement period December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017. The first transaction on the statement is dated January 3rd, which would be 2017,
And the account number on this is what?
ending in 3837.
Detective, if I ask you to identify each time that a transfer was made into this account from the TD Trust Bank account, would you be able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to direct your attention, if we could please go to February 16th. This time period and on this page, February 16th, do you see any transfers coming in from that TD checking account?
I do.
Okay, can you point that out for us?
On February 16th, an electronic transfer of credit occurred in the amount of $2,400.
Can we scroll up just a little bit so we can see the debits and just please go up to the top of the page if you could. All right, so just to be clear, so it says debit, right?
Yes.
And then credit.
Yes.
Okay, and then balance. And
Correct.
those are the columns. Okay,
Correct.
if you just, I'm sorry, go back to February 16th, thank you. Can you circle for us where you see that?
$2,400?
Yes. And then just circle for us or underline the last 4 digits of the bank account from which that came. Okay. I'm going to direct your attention now to March 17th. Oh, actually,
Stay there for a minute. We gotta go back.
I have to hit undo.
No, hold on for a minute. Go back. Set it back up where it was. No, down to the 2400. Oh, too far.
sorry, just touched it. It's touched.
Okay. Can we print that? That is S29.1.
Oh, that's a good idea for the record. I do like that they can, like,
We can now
they
undo
don't
it.
have to add,
Thank you.
witness points to the right-hand side of document. They can just, that's actually a really good idea and innovation, if clunky to use.
Okay, I'll direct your attention now to March 17th. Detective, do you see any transfers on March 17th from the TD Trust account?
Yes.
Can you please identify that by circling it?
There was a deposit in the amount of $1,500, which was an electronic transfer of credit from the trust on March 17th.
And can you just underline the last 4 digits from where it came? Thank you.
We can print that. That's S29.2.
Now, in 2017,
You can
Keith,
undo it. Thank you.
became aware in April that Paul was taking money out of the trust account, and Paul did pay that back. Now, why Keith didn't remove him as trustee at that point, I don't know. I don't know if there was, a lot of paperwork involved, but he gave Paul another chance, and Paul did the same thing again. Unfortunately, the state alleges that that led to the quadruple homicide of Keith Caneiro, his wife, and his 2 children by Paul, because Keith was going to find out yet again that he had embezzled from the trust. Or he had found out,
Okay,
and
I'm
he
gonna
was
draw your
going to
attention now
confront
to
him.
April 7th. Do you see any transfers on April 7th from the trust account on that date?
Yes,
And same thing, so what number on the last 4 digits?
$1,000.
Print that, please. 29.3. You can undo it. Thank you.
I'm going to draw your attention now to June 16th. When we get there, if you could let us know if you see any transfers from the TD Trust checking account on that date.
$2,000 transfer on June 16th.
29.4. Print.
I'm going to direct your attention to June 20th.
$4,000 transfer, electronic.
Print that as 29.5, please.
I'm going to direct your attention now, if we can go to July 21st of 2017. Detective, I'm going to draw your attention to July 21st of 2017. It looks like there's a number of transactions, but the second one from the top, do you see that?
To Canada Life?
Yes.
Yes.
To Canada Life, okay. And that was
Who the hell spent $3,000 at Tiffany and Company? I mean, okay. Like the rich people among us. Alrighty then.
for $8,000?
Yes.
Okay, does that correspond with the checks that I showed you that went to Canada Life?
Yes,
And that is from the defendant's account, that's in paying Canada Life?
yes.
Now, it says next to 721, just tell us what that says.
TD Bank bill pay check, Canada Life Assurance Company, check number 995345.
Thank you. If we could please go, I'm going to direct your attention to July 28th now.
He seems
First from the
nonchalant.
TD account on that date.
$7,000 on July.
I don't know that the defense talked to Paul, but he should look chagrined and deeply uncomfortable with the fact that he was continuously stealing from essentially his niece and nephew. Because when you get down to it, you know, a life insurance policy, a whole insurance policy is to protect, you know, the survivor if the, you know, husband should die, the widow and the children. So him looking a bit nonchalant as they discuss his, you know, whole pillaging of his nieces and nephew, whom he so loved, you know, their future, it's a bit, you know,
July 28th.
icky.
Put that also, 29.7.
So this jackass, as soon as he paid Canada Life, decided to transfer nearly all that he had paid to Canada Life back out from the trust. What a magnificent jacket. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be smirking, you little troll.
You can undo that one. Thank you.
Detective, you can undo that.
I have wondered that. It's kind of like you can be underwhelmed and overwhelmed, but can you just be whelmed? It is one of the most profound questions from Mean Girls.
I'm gonna direct your attention, if we could go to August 2nd of 2017. Detective, you see where there's a payment of $11,880?
Yes.
To Canada Life?
Yes.
Okay, and again, does this correspond to one of the two checks, payments that the defendant did in fact make to Canada Life from this bank account in 2017?
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to circle it, we didn't circle the last one, I just want to remain consistent, I just want to point it out, Bill, for the jury. And is there a check number under Canada Life Insurance Company?
Yes.
Okay. If we can, I'm going to direct your attention now to December 1st.
Rhinestone Wow Girl, no, this is actually, I had tried and attempted to do this stream on Thursday. My power went out, so I'm trying to valiantly deliver a stream where you can hear me and my internet doesn't go out. Also, it gives me something to do rather than worry about Snowmageddon. So I'll probably stay on for another hour and then bake cookies with the ferals and get ready for snow. Yeah, my husband's like, it's a macan and not a pecan. And I was like, I could care less.
Detective, do you see any transfers on, I think if we can just go up a little bit. Okay. Up, down. Okay. Do you see any transfers here on December 1st?
10,500.
Thank you. You're underlining for the record the last four digits, 5465.
Yes.
Print that as 29.8.
Paul, you should look embarrassed.
You can undo it.
I'm going to direct your attention now to 1218. Transfers here from the TD checking account that you see?
Yes, 2,500 from account 5465.
29.9. Please print. You can undo it.
Finally, I'm going to direct your attention to 1227. Any transfers from the TD checking account here that you see on 1227?
Yes, $1,000 from 5465.
Print that as 29.10.
Take this down. Showing counsel what has been marked. Actually, let me ask the question. Detective, you indicated that you noticed in 2017 multiple transfers going into multiple of the defendant's bank accounts for that year.
Yes.
Did you notice any going into the joint checking account 3760 in 2017?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as S33. I'm showing counsel. Yes.
Now, I do wonder why the state didn't go after the wife. She had to have been aware that this money was not coming in by any means that she could ascertain as far as revenue source. Now, there has been scuttlebutt that basically Paul claimed disability and his monies that he would receive from the business actually went to his wife so he could look more indigent. Now, these are allegations from true crimers that have dug into this before this went to court. So I don't know if that will be brought out. But all in all, it goes to show that he cannot be trusted. And while the jury can't make an inference that because you embezzle, you're a, red rummer, they can, pick up that you are willing to steal from your family. What else are you willing to do to that family? Or at least I would.
Detective, do you recognize S33?
Yes, these are TD Bank statements in the name of Paul Caneiro and Susan Caneiro, ending in account number 3760, which is number 3 on the chart. And this is for the statement period December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017.
And just for the record, how many transfers, if you recall, were into this account for 2017 from the TD Trust account?
One transfer.
One, okay. Judge, permission to publish?
Counsel?
Oh, no objection, Judge.
Okay, you can.
Okay, just to orient us again, the top of the page, what are we looking at the right date?
The statement period is December 24th, 2016 through January 23rd, 2017, involving account number 3760. This is a joint account with Paul and Susan Caneiro at TD Bank.
Okay, but despite the date, this is the entire year of 2017, is that right, these records?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to direct your attention to May 9th. Detective, do you see any transfers coming in from the TD Trust account on that date?
1500 on May 9th.
Print that as 33.1.
Wait a minute. I call BS because this man did not go to the gym. And who spends $329? It looks like at a fitness like apparel store.
Print that as 33.1.
Detective, we can take this down, please. Thank you. Detective, which of the other bank accounts that the defendant had did you notice any transfers coming from the TD Trust checking account in 2017?
There was a transfer made to the TD Bank account with Caitlin and Paul Caneiro, ending in 3886.
How many?
One.
Just one? Okay. Showing counsel S35. I'm showing you what's been marked as S35. I'll put the other ones back. Thank you. Detective, do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that?
These are TD Bank statements in the name of Caitlin Caneiro, Paul Caneiro, ending in account number 3886. And the statement period is December 14th, 2016 through January 13th, 2017.
Permission to publish?
No objection.
Okay, Ken?
Yeah, Squaw Bob, this is incredibly, an incredibly horrific trial, which why I appreciate that the state is starting off with the more easy to digest kind of greed motivation, because I think you have to, as much as this is boring and kind of obligatory testimony, I think you have to understand, because it is so completely anathema to what most of us think as family. We couldn't imagine doing this to children. And I think that's where, the doubt might come in. Like, how could an uncle do this to his niece and nephew? Not that we don't see it happen, not that we haven't seen trials with the same horror, but you really do have to get over that fact that most people would not do something like this to protect their lifestyle. And to put it out in numbers, I think gives you a real reading of who Paul is as a person. I mean, he, this May transfer is going to be right after he allegedly, paid everything back to the life insurance and apologized for being a jackass. And he is going to turn around and continue to steal from this.
Detective, what is the last four digits on this account?
3886?
And just to be clear, are these the statements from 3886 for the entirety of 2017?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to refer your attention to February 21st. Yes, I'm sorry. Detective, on December 21st, did you see any transfers from the TD Trust account into this account?
On February 21st, I do. $280 coming from the trust account.
Okay, I see that you underlined the amount and underlined the last four digits.
Yes.
35.1, please pray.
It goes back to me. In sum, Detective, what was the total amount of transfers from the TD Trust account 5465 into the defendant's bank accounts in 2017?
$33,680.
Schmuck.
I want to move on to 2018 now. On the chart S40A, under sources of revenue, do you see where it reflects the TD Trust checking account?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the total amount there?
That amount is $44,500.
Which bank accounts of the defendants did those sums go into, or that sum go into?
Account 2, the defendant's account ending in 3837, and account 3, the joint account with the defendant and his wife ending in 3760.
Okay. So in 2018, how much money did the defendant pay to Canada Life, if any, from his personal bank accounts?
0.
Okay. If I were to show you the bank accounts for 2018, specifically 3837 first, would you be able to identify those transfers for us?
Yes.
I'm showing counsel, which is S30. Detective, do you recognize this?
I do.
What is that?
These are bank statements from TD Bank in the name of Paul Caneiro. Account number ending in 3837. Statement period covers December 24th, 2017 through January 23rd, 2018.
Like we did with 2017, would you be able to identify each of the transfers that the defendant made into this account from?
Okay, I want to see how the defense deals with this, because we're just going into more of this is where he stole it, this is where he hid it. So I want to see what the defense's, counter to this is, because here is what the defense's opening statement was, and I'm loosely paraphrasing this, but basically...
All right, we're going to continue with the direct.
Oh, good Lord, we're still in direct. Look, y'all, I have established the point that this man is a lying liar who lies. What I want to see is what the defense does, because... Now let's see if this is still...
Right?
Correct.
Oh, good Lord, let's... All right.
Canada Life is telling you they haven't been receiving money.
Oh, we do need to listen to this because, unfortunately and heartbreakingly, Keith does learn the night of his death, because Canada Life reaches out to him, that they hadn't received payments for that year at all. And he is trying to reach out to Paul. So because Keith had a very good security system in his house, we do actually have video of him trying to call Paul and trying to get to the bottom of this, to see what the hell is happening, because he's getting statements from Canada Life. But Paul had been giving him bank statements that he doctored in Adobe, saying that he had been paying. So the accountant thinks he's paying, the brother thinks he's paying, he has bank statements saying he's paying, and then Canada Life is calling and saying, we haven't gotten a payment all year. We're kind of confused.
All right, we're going to continue with the direct examination. Prosecutor, when you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Detective, prior to the break, I had showed you S66. Do you
Yes.
recall that, and did you indicate that your initials were on here?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, the statement seek permission to publish. And just for the record...
Counsel, any issue?
No, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
Just for the record, it would be, it's broken up into two parts. It's S66A and then B, so if we could play A first and then B.
All right, S66A. I feel like we have an echo, or it's in my head, one or the other.
It's an echo.
Let's not play that yet until we get rid of the echo.
How about now?
Testing, texting.
Good.
Good? You want me to sing?
Not yet.
That's hurtful. How do you know? I could be great.
You're in the mood.
Yeah, listen. All right. Prosecutor, when you're
I would rather hear this judge do awful karaoke than the absolute dumpster fire that I am sure the defense cross is going to be.
ready.
I'm sorry, Judge, there's apparently a technical issue with turn on. Excuse me, we just, there we go.
Sounded like it's somebody that hasn't received money.
The volume's I'm sorry. I don't know if it's their volume or our volume.
Can we turn our volume up a little bit?
How many lawyers does it? All right, no. When I am president, not only will sovereign citizens in Zoom court meetings have to, and I do mean constitutionally will be required to, have a cat filter on them so that life is fun and enjoyable for all of us, but each court, each district will have a tech person in the courtroom, especially if the court is being live streamed, to deal with all technical and audio issues by decree of your president in the future, Mo.
Yeah, we'll turn ours up. Ours is maxed. See what happens.
Hey, what are you doing? Sounded like it's somebody that hasn't been receiving money except in April. That doesn't make any sense. Canada Life is saying they haven't received money since April. I know it's not true. I need you to send me the statement ASAP because I'm on phone with Old Bay already. I need to access the money.
So because Keith had set up the trust and Paul was the beneficiary, he wasn't getting statements from the trust because he really wasn't supposed to be kind of monitoring it. Now, because Paul had been giving both the accountant and Keith these false bank statements, they have been spending, it's 3:00 their time right now, and at first, Keith is willing to give Paul the benefit of the doubt. He's like, yeah, I see the bank statements. I don't know what's going on. Just, let's figure this out. I totally trust you. And then we're going to see as things go on, as the day goes on, Keith gets pissed because nothing is adding up.
Fine. Do you have it scanned somewhere? Do you have it scanned right now? Can I log into it and grab it? Do you have the online access? I'll just go online and see it. You don't have the online access? If you could just see a way to send me the password, I'll do the research myself. Thanks.
This next one would be S66B.
Okay.
Hey, Dave, how are you? Sorry to call on the hotline. I'm looking for Paul. I know he's sleeping, but I need to talk to him.
So this is 6 p.m. and he's getting pretty upset, as you can tell.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Yeah, please. I'm coming on mobile. Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Can we just pause it for 1 moment? Detective, is there a timestamp on here?
I can see the duration of the call, and I can see that it says November 19th, 2018 at 18:05:27.
And the previous one, do you recall that one?
That was dated the same date, and it showed 3:50, the military time for that time frame.
This is also, I think, now this is a much more subtle, less ham-fisted, but equally emotional in its subtleness. The sounds of life. It's so much more impactful than the ham-fisted, emotional sympathy, heartstring pulling that the Uvalde, this is how you subtly and more impactfully pull on the heartstrings. The fact that that we know as a jury that in less than 12 hours, those little children's voices that you hear are going to be snuffed out with smoke, that the people that you see wandering around are either going to be shot in their lawn or burned beyond recognition. This is masterful. This is subtle. And I think this is completely okay. This is so much more powerful than what they did in Uvalde. And the state isn't being ham-fisted with it. But because they are being so subtle with it, because they are being so sparing with the emotional details, it impacts so much more. Because you realize that in less than a few hours, allegedly by someone who pretended to love them, all of these lives are going to be ended. It's so much more powerful than the kind of grotesque parading that Uvalde did, in my opinion.
Hi. I just spent the last hour and a half on the phone with the insurance company. They're saying they haven't received any money and that they took a loan against my account and they're taking another one in October, which is just in October. I need to know, show me where you're sending the checks in online. You're writing it out online. I need to know where they're going. I need you to wake up, Paul, and do it. And short of you being dead, I need to see the stuff. You need to log into your account then. You log into the TV account. Give me the log into the TV account. Your TV account, you don't know your TV login. Go find it and give it to me. I need to see it now, Paul. I need to see it. I need to see it now. I need it. I understand, Paul. I understand that. I just been here today. Paul, I'm telling you. I need it. I need it. I need it. Give me the fucking login, Paul. Give me the login, Paul. Paul, just give me the login so I can see where the money went.
Yeah. Also, Paul, I don't know my own login. Now, I never remember my password, which leads me to have to do the two-thing verification, and then it asks me to put in a new password, and I try to rotate between 3 passwords, and it's like, you've already used that password again. I'm like, look, AI who deals with the security questions, it's me. I don't remember a daggone thing unless I tattoo it to my forehead. So could you just let me use one of the 3 passwords that I always use?
On the computer and tell me where the money went. Paul, somebody else could read it to you there. I need to know where that money went. Look a little while, Paul. I understand you're saying you need to wake the fuck up, Paul. Paul, I'm telling you, I've just been here today looking for this. I need to know where it went. Paul. Paul. Are you sure it went to the right place this time? You have cash checks? You have cash checks? Paul. I hear what you're saying. Paul, I'm worried. I need to know where it went. All right, an hour or two. An hour or two. An hour or two, Paul. 7 o'clock.
cross-examination.
Oh God, buckle in.
Okay, so, Detective, we just heard those calls. They took place on November 19th, 2018, right?
Yes.
And you listened to those particular calls before you came here to testify today?
I did?
Those are the only calls from that series of Wise recordings that you listened to?
Yes.
You didn't listen to the calls that were made before those that we just heard, right?
No.
You didn't listen to the calls that were made after the ones we just heard, right?
Correct.
You don't know if there's anything in this case of evidentiary significance that happened before those calls?
Oh Lord. Paul, put your hand down. It's also, okay, the absolute worst outfit. I understand why this outfit bothers me so much. Now, you'll see this typically with female, younger female defendants. They will dress them up as schoolgirls. I'm thinking of who was the girl that took the life of her mother, I believe, and they dressed her up like a Catholic schoolgirl, like in a smock. What they are doing is trying to paint him as an innocent, like, schoolboy. It is the exact same thing they try to do with female defendants, make them look like school marms, tone it down. It's just anathema to what we have learned about this man.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember I talked about there may be times where I may have you take out that number 2 pencil with the eraser on it and erase it? There's one of those times. The question that was just asked dealt with phone calls before and after the three that you hear. What I want you to do is I need you to erase that from your mind of any other calls in this case at this point in time. The court may have made rulings at some point in time that maybe has an impact on this, so you're hearing what you're going to be allowed to hear, at least right now. So I don't want you to have any thoughts about that one way or another. There should be no impact on either the state and or the defense on this, but we are not to infer anything else that may have gone on that you're not being told, and why aren't you being told? Does that make sense? All right, can everyone follow that instruction?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Now,
Now, just to fill you in, this is the second or third time that the judge has had to tell them to ignore Ponytail Boy about asking a dumb or, not objectionable question. So just keep in mind that that pencil is always out for the defense.
testified today about a number of financial transactions between a trust account that you referenced and Paul Caneiro's personal account, or accounts, right?
Yes.
You're aware that in April of 2018, there was an issue that Keith became aware of about money from the trust not getting to the life insurance, right?
Yes.
And when Keith found out about that in April of 2018, he was upset about the fact that that was happening, right?
Okay.
You took a...
You say okay. Are you agreeing with what he's saying, or are you not?
She didn't think it was a question, and she's just not wanting to deal with stupidity.
Agreeing with what he's saying. I'm not sure what that was.
I was listening to what he was saying.
Okay. We need to be careful, just if you don't mind, with the questions, because I don't want the jurors to be left with an impression as to an answer which wasn't really an answer to what you just said. So go ahead.
Thank you, John. I'm going to clarify it.
Please do.
You said before today that you spoke with a witness in this case, and his name is Steve Weinstein, right?
Yes.
And you took a formal statement from Steve Weinstein, right?
I was a part of that interview.
And Steve Weinstein, if you weren't here for that part of the trial, was the Caneiro family accountant for a long time. He also was the kind of overseer for all of the family businesses around the time of the incident, and had consulted with Keith and Paul about the money kind of discrepancy of April 2017, and then kind of was trying to help Keith in November of 2018 figure out what was going on during those calls. So he was the accountant.
Yeah, you were there when it happened,
Yes.
right? And you were able to hear what he said, right?
Yes.
And you were able to review that, if you chose to, at a later date, after it was reduced to writing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, during the course of that statement, Steve Weinstein is asked about that incident in April of 2018 with the life insurance money, right?
Yes.
And he explains what took place in that time period, right?
Yes.
And he explains that Keith found out that the money wasn't getting to the life insurance policy, right?
Yes.
And he explains that when he found that out, Keith was overly upset with everyone.
Overly upset? No, I would be righteously upset. I think proportionally upset. I think, again, judiciously upset. Overly upset? Again, I don't know about you, but if my brother stole money that was essentially for my children, I'd be righteously and full of, again, perfectly correct and proportional anger.
I didn't memorialize that statement. That was not my lead on that statement. But if you want me to testify as to exactly what occurred in that meeting, if you have a statement or a summary of that, I can look at it.
You're showing it to her. You shouldn't be reading it.
Judge, I'm going to approach. This is S9. Okay. Detective, just so you can see the front of this.
Sure.
This is marked S9, okay?
Yes.
You recognize this to be the statement of Steve Weinstein?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll just show you on the last page of this document, we're going to see a date and a time, which is January 24th, 2019, right?
Correct.
5:23 p.m.
Pop Princess, she does have a resting bee face, but she's dealing with incompetent stupid in the defense. So I think she's entitled to look like she is going to win the RFB, gold medal because he's a trip. Yes, I am staying warm because I'm trying not to watch. Well, I'm streaming so I don't watch the forecast and catastrophize.
Correct.
Signed by Steve Weinstein?
Yes.
Signed by yourself?
On the third signature, yes.
Sure, but you signed it, right?
Yes, I
Signed
did.
by Detective Petrosello?
Yes.
Signed by Detective Cirillo?
Correct.
Okay. Drawing your attention to page 6, I'm just going to ask you to review that page, lines 4 through 8.
Also, the subjective kind of emotional impact or observational emotional impact of Keith and how he was behaving from the accountant is not relevant in the least.
Yes.
Okay. You had a chance to look at that, right?
I did.
And then, so what I was talking to you about before was this situation in April where Keith finds out the money's not getting to the insurance company, okay? And in that statement, am I correct that Steve Weinstein is going to tell you when Keith found out about that incident, he was overly upset with everyone?
Yes.
Those were his words, right?
Yes.
He didn't say upset with Paul. He said overly upset with everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
He can be upset with Paul for being a snake. He can be upset with his accountant because he didn't catch Paul stealing. He could be upset with the insurance company.
I'll take that back. Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, you
Thank you.
we also know that, let me see if I can confine this way. You testified earlier that you watched the three Wise camera videos that we saw today, right?
The two videos.
If there were conversations about the issue that happened in April of 2018, right? We wouldn't know that were recorded. We wouldn't know because we haven't seen those, right?
Right.
Okay. So we didn't have a chance, other than the statement of Mr. Weinstein, to see Keith's demeanor back in April of 2018 when he found out about the issue of money not getting to the insurance policy.
Correct.
Now, we also know that you're here talking about finances in this case, not because it's somehow, independent to the charges, but it both supports charges in this case, right?
Yes.
And it also goes to the essence of the state's theory of motive. Right?
Why do I feel like it's Rain Man? And if I dropped a bunch of toothpicks next to him, he'd know it. But why do I feel like he's being written like a WB character that has to explain what's going on rather than just act? Am I taking crazy pills? Is he really this? How is he a lawyer? How? And why?
And so this financial evidence goes to the heart of the state's theory about why Paul would kill Keith, right?
Y'all, you know what? I should just be proud he figured all this out without crayons and a big old whiteboard. Never mind. Congratulations, Ponytail. You figured out the essence of the fact patterns in this case. Someday you'll join us in figuring out cogent questions to ask as a defense attorney.
Correct.
This call, in the two clips that you mentioned that we just saw, matters because in it we can see Keith trying to figure out if the money is getting to the insurance company in November, and he's trying to figure that out from Paul, right?
Can I just clarify what he's trying to figure it out in November for what happened in months past? Is that what you're asking? Yes.
In November, right. In November, we just watched these calls. They take place on November 19th, and it's about whether the money has been getting to the insurance company, right?
Yes.
And those calls are meaningful to the state's presentation of motive evidence in this case, right?
As illustrated by the mother effing fact that they brought the witness. Yes, Cletus, these are obvious things. Could you please ask a functional question?
Yes.
And they're relevant because not just for the content, not just for the detail about the finances, they're relevant because of Keith's apparent emotional state while those calls are taking place, right?
Yes.
But you did not know Keith Caneiro personally, right?
No.
And you
Please have a point. You know, I just need Kim Kardashian to do the rest of Crossing. Why is she letting...
did not know and do not know what his general demeanor and emotional character were, right?
No, I did not.
And all we have in terms of your review is what we can see in terms of what's on that video, right?
Yes.
But we know that Steve Weinstein said about the April event that Keith was overly upset, right?
Yes.
We also know that in between April and November, Keith and Paul continued to speak to one another, right?
I wouldn't know that.
They continue to be in business together.
Correct.
There was a plan, a proposal to perhaps sell one of their businesses.
Yes.
You're aware of that,
Yes.
right? And that took place in the latter part of 2018.
Yes.
It took place after this event in April with the trust issue.
It may have.
Okay. If I told you it did, would you accept that?
I will try to see if Amazon, I know Flux has that really cool hat with the beard on it. Maybe I'll see if where she found it, because yeah, I definitely need a beard for the y'all. When did we get like Paul Blart attorney? Has this man, I feel like this man was like, there was a casting call and he's never really been an attorney, but he's an actor.
I would hear that you're saying that.
Okay. Well, I don't need you to, but let's just say, they were working on that sale. Okay. Did you know that, and so that's your impression that they were working on that together, right?
Is it an impression? I just know that EcoStar was hopefully going to sell.
Then we get to November, and what we're still dealing with is this issue of whether money's getting to the insurance, and the issue is it coming from the trust to the insurance policy, right?
Yes.
You documented for us today what that amounted to in terms of transfers from the trust to places other than the insurance policy, right?
Yes.
And that was about $33,000 in 2017, right?
Yes.
And about $44,000 in 2018,
Yes.
right?
44,500.
And in total, we're talking about, in terms of your number estimates, about $78,000.
Yes.
I don't know why you're saying this like it's $799. $78,000. Look, I'm just saying that's a hell of a lot of hand jobs. And again, what is the dismissiveness of the $78,000? Paul was, again, living way above his means. It was not chump change. I don't know where he okay, the defense has officially gone insane.
Paul's on the other end of that call on November 19th of 2018. That's your understanding, right?
That is my understanding.
Paul can hear.
Yeah, point out your client allegedly saying he doesn't remember how to log into his bank account, the one where he's a trustee. Yeah, really, really draw attention to the fact that your client stole $78,000 and lied to his brother about it. Are you a defense attorney or did the state plant you in? I'm beginning to think you're a plant.
What Keith's saying.
That is my understanding.
We don't know what Paul is saying back to Keith.
Correct.
We don't know if Paul's apologizing or if he's telling his brother to calm down. Right?
Correct.
Paul knew his brother way better than you were ever acquainted with him, right?
Yes.
Could you kindly, defense attorney, draw me a map to wherever in the nebulous Narnia you're going? Because I'm a little clueless. Now, I think what you're trying to say is that Paul would have been able to talk his brother down from stealing a significant amount of money for the second time from his trust that was his family's future and safety net because they'd known each other for a long time because they were, in fact, brothers.
And I guess the issue is this. I think we
She's definitely trying to be. Who is the Leslie? She was on hard copy. Leslie something. She looks exactly like her. But definitely Hart. She saw Barracuda and she just stopped that train in the 70s and said, "I'm keeping the feathered shag."
touched on it earlier today. It's important for a detective in a case to look not just to the things that strengthen arguments for motive, but to look to the things also that may weaken support for motive.
Agreed. Prove or disprove?
A reasonable question might be, are there things in the financial records which demonstrate Keith's general emotional demeanor?
Can you explain further what you mean?
Sure. If Keith upset on these calls on November 19th, if Keith upset on these calls is an aberration for him, a way that he doesn't usually present, a way that his brother, who knows him.
I mean, I'm generally sure he doesn't always act like his brother just stole $78,000 in 2 years because he, isn't confronted with that. Kim Kardashian, save your boy. I don't know if you're trying to get his promotion by making him look terrible, but ma'am, someone save this man from himself.
Very well would find disconcerting and unusual and shocking and uncomfortable. That is a very different thing than if Paul knows this is just how Keith acts. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
So if there was evidence that could tell us whether on one side Keith's demeanor that night was an aberration, or on the other side that it was maybe a more general emotional.
Okay, we have this class rule for a reason. We have a congregation rule for a reason. If you are going to engage in liberal uses of Quaaludes and or gummies, you better bring enough for the entire class, son, because I don't understand what you're talking about. And it sounds like you thought you made sense when you were at least 3, gummies in, when, you question if an Uncrustable is really the best food ever.
Reaction that others who knew him would see him to have. In either event, that would be important for us to know.
Are you asking me, would it be important for me as a financial detective to know?
I'm asking you as a detective who participated in this investigation with other detectives, because let's remind everyone, you weren't isolated completely to finance. You spoke with other detectives in this case, right?
I have spoken with other detectives, mainly the detectives that I was with when I participated in the interview of the CPA, Steve Weinstein, when I participated in the interview of Ron Artigis, when I participated in the interview of Tiffany Rivera, also a financial interview, and in speaking to Yasel Restrepo. So I have not been a part of any other interviews. I follow the money. Okay. I am a detective in the Financial Crimes Unit.
Yeah, but Yeah, but you're a part of this case, aren't you? You're a detective in this case.
Technically,
Okay, let's stay with technically. That's fine. But
No, no, dear who let Spicoli get a law license? This man has Cheech and Chonged himself to the fact that he sees all the snozberries.
technically, you're a detective in this case, right?
investigating the financial aspect.
And technically, you know what the state's motive theory in this case is. You already told us that, right?
Yes.
And technically, you know that the state is looking for evidence that's supportive of their motive theory, right?
Yes.
And
Does she get hazard pay for this? I can physically feel the tumor growing of stupidity. It's like my brain is actively, it's like, no, please stop. Mom, stop.
technically, you know that whether you find things that are supportive of or weaken the strength for that motive, it's important for you to note that to others involved in the case. Right?
Financially speaking, yes.
If you see things, so this is the point then. If you see things in the financial records that go to a determination of whether Keith's character on those calls was an aberration or part of his general character, it's important because it either strengthens that motive or lends to the idea that there may be less support for that motive.
Idjit. She looks at numbers. She doesn't work with the feeling. She works with numbers because they make sense, okay? You are talking about feelings, and I don't know that one could extrapolate from my bank statement what my feelings are unless you extrapolate that a lot of my money goes to maintaining my house and bills get paid first, and then, you know, a reasonable amount of frivolous spending in a budget. And that thing... no, she's just really pissed off with this man, and her chin, she's angling her head to, yeah, she does look a little more dudeish.
Right?
Right?
Okay. So, if there was, in the financial records, an indication that Keith was a very high-strung guy, that would be important for you to know.
Again, how can you extrapolate that he's a high-strung guy? Most people get anxious when they think they have money in their bank account and find out that no, there's no money in the bank account because your worthless brother was stealing it. Yeah, that seems like something that would get me a little anxious too.
I'm sure I follow you, but if you can give me an example of how the financial aspect of the investigation would connect with that, I would understand you better.
I thought I just did that for like 10 minutes. Did I not do that? Okay.
Don't smile, Kim Kardashian. No, what you have done for 10 minutes is take 10 minutes from my life that I will never get back. You have, and I quote, "Never in your incoherent rambling did you come close to anything resembling a coherent thought. We are all dumber for having listened to you. May God have mercy on your soul."
The motive evidence you're aware of, right?
Yes.
We talked about the fact that whether that Paul knows his brother very well and you don't know his brother at all, right?
Correct.
We talked about the fact that it's important as to whether this is unusual behavior for Keith in terms of his emotional character on those calls, or whether it's usual behavior, right?
Yes.
You've agreed with everything I've said so far, right? And then you agreed that
We agree that these are concepts. What we do not agree is how one can extrapolate any of these flippin' flapjack concepts from a bank statement.
if there was evidence one way or the other to support either of those contentions, it would be important to note for others in the case. And you agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're at the point where I ask you if there was evidence in the financial records that indicated Keith was a high-strung guy who could flip out at the drop of a dime.
Jump it up, Jax.
Can I see the attorneys, please?
The judge is like, again, what the hell is Kim Kardashian wearing? Paul, shut up. I don't even want to see your dumb little face. The judge is like, you incompetent bubbling idiot. You can't tell feelings from a bank statement, you moron. This judge is like, I've had enough. You will stop being stupid, or I will turn this trial around.
Judge, do we have a way, we have the record electronically. Could we bring it on the screen? And
I don't want it going out to the world right now.
Well, is there a way we
I
can-
mean, I don't know what it says.
yeah, I can,
That's a part of the problem. You don't have it printed?
we have it. We didn't anticipate today that this witness would be entering these WISE videos because we had been told by the state that a different witness would be entering these videos. And I didn't even anticipate, Judge, going into this line of questioning with this witness until it was told to me during a break that this was the witness who was going to be doing this.
Okay.
So,
And we understood that this morning, which was before the break, but nothing was
Yeah.
printed out during the break with the understanding that you were going to go down this path. I would assume, because you seem to be referencing something that leads me to believe that you were going to go down this path after lunch.
I was going to have to, Judge, because we don't have a printer here, I was going to have to show it to the witness on a screen.
Are these documents anywhere else? That we have them somewhere?
Judge, I mean, if they could be identified, we probably have the financial records in the building. I mean, we have the financial records in the building.
I'm talking about that we don't have them here in this room.
We have it in a conference room down the hall. If we were told exactly what they're looking for, yes, we could get it quickly.
Didn't Mr. Gonzalez say we could turn off these screens and only have these ones on? He said as the witness's screen would still be on with ours, but the big ones could be turned off.
Can you do that, Anna?
Kim Kardashian, sit the hell down.
Dating in about 2 seconds.
Hold Dave up, please.
Oh, this judge is so dumb with the defense.
Dave,
so am I.
can we look at a document just on our screens on council table?
Okay, y'all, this is the real and true reason I picked this. I did not want to pick a case that had children, unfortunately, but I was waiting for a Judge Borowski style judge like anger yelling fest, because every day in Uvalde I kept getting pop-ups from court TV. Judge is done with the defense. Judge yells at defense. Judge gives defense final warning. And I was like, I am here for it. And now I understand the judge's pain, because this ponytail thinks he's smart. And when you're a real smart person and you have to deal with dumb people who think they're smart, it's aggravating, it's annoying, it's hurtful to your brain.
And at the witness box and in my monitor without showing it on screens.
Yes. Before you plug in the laptop?
Are you plugged in?
I just plugged it in.
Thank you. The witness is going to need to see it, though.
If she can pop over and look at our screen or the state screen, or, I mean,
Let me see the document first. Right, you can bring it up.
I have it on my screen.
So it's not on my screen either?
it's not on our
It's
screen
not
either.
on any screen.
You guys have to go to the front.
You ready?
We're ready at
It's
this
ready to
table.
be shared.
Oh my God, Milton, make something work. Get the TPS report up now.
I can see it.
Yeah, I legitimately looked up on ChatGPT. I thought maybe this was his first trial and I was being a little mean, like maybe, so I felt bad because I was like, maybe this is his first trial. And no, ChatGPT is like, he's been a lawyer since 2018 or 2008. And as I said previously, well, let's see, 2008, I have a child who's going to graduate with honors this year as a senior. So in the time he's been a lawyer, I have almost raised a fully functional human. This poor judge's blood pressure.
You scroll down for me?
Is that good? Or keep going?
Just stay right there for a minute, please. Keep going down.
That's the end of it.
Okay. Detective, do me a favor. Come on up here for a second. You can come on all out. Yep. Feel free to sit down and make yourself comfortable. I want you to read that email.
If I have to scroll down, do they scroll or I?
Do it first.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
do it.
hold on.
And again, what I don't understand here is most business owners, most successful business owners are highly detail oriented and self-driven. So yes, they seem and appear to be high strung. They are very persnickety and fiddly with details because that's part of their success. They can be very, high stress and desirous of people around them to match not only their intensity level, but their commitment level and their attention to detail. So that's not uncommon as a sort of behavioral or kind of personality profile in high functioning, business owners with profitable businesses. Usually you don't see very successful business owners that are like, it'll be what it'll be, YOLO.
Can you scroll down a little, please? Can you scroll up so I can see the date of this email? Okay,
Okay, you can go back to your seat. Thank you.
thank you.
Outside the presence of the jury, you can ask the questions you want to ask, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, Detective, let's just start with everything I had asked you up to the point where the jury got excused, okay? Given that testimony, here we have a record that was in the Bates discovery, right?
Yes,
And we see that it's an email communication,
yes,
and this is from the TD Bank emails that were turned over by TD to you, right?
yes,
And it's in reference to, you would place it in a report, but it's in reference, not this specific document, but the emails themselves are in reference to Keith Caneiro's attempt to get a mortgage refinance, right?
right,
And this is within those, and by the way, I think it was several thousands of documents that were in there, right?
yes,
And this is one of them, right?
yes,
But what this email does talk about is Keith being a high-strung guy, right?
I think when anyone owes the IRS money, my experience, having come from IRS, they're all high-strung when they owe IRS debt.
Did this man graduate from the Darrell Brooks, I'm going to read something out of context and try to make it an argument, school of law? Yeah, people usually aren't the happiest they're ever going to be talking to the... What a blithering moron. Again, did he come from the DeVry? Did he come from the Zoolander Law School? For kids that can't read good?
Okay. But this was about a refi.
Because he had to pay, he also wanted to use the funds for an IRS debt.
Right. So the email says he's a high-strung guy,
Yes.
right? the email says that he'll flip out at the drop of a dime, right?
It did.
And that is clearly something that could be informative to us about whether Keith was, on the November 19th videos that we watched, a high-strung guy, right?
Right.
And clearly could be informative in that same instance about whether he could flip out at the drop of a dime, right?
Correct.
And we also mentioned before that whether something supports or weakens the strength of our motive, it's important to make note of it in an investigation, right?
Judge,
Yes.
please make this
And so
stop.
either way, this gives us some insight potentially into Keith's emotional character in general, right?
It could.
So in either case, it could be important to know, right?
It could be.
So it would be something.
It could be important to note that my inner child, despite, years and years of emotional wisdom and growth, would still like to go back and destroy the people that made fun of me in middle school. Now, whether that's important to this case or not, again, this is so dumb. The judge, I know currently I think they're on day 8 or 9. I don't know how the judge has survived this, because this is day 2. And this is also why you can't be a lawyer, because I physically start reacting in my face to stupid.
Something that could be important to note, not for you financially, but for the case detectives who are investigating the homicide in this case, right?
Could be.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Ms. Wallace,
Judge, the state's position.
you have any questions first?
Detective, have you ever seen this before?
I'm certain I probably have, but again, there were tens and tens and tens of thousands of documents in this case. If I reviewed a document a one-off time 8 years ago, I couldn't physically possibly go back and review 50,000 pages to prepare for today.
Do you have any independent recollection of reviewing this?
Specifically, no, but if I received it back then, I probably had hands and eyes on it at one point.
That's it? No other questions? Okay. Prosecutor, what's your position as to this line of question?
Judge, the state's position is that this is not relevant. The state failed.
She's wanting to use another R word, but she knows she'll get in trouble. The state would like to contend that the defense is from the Short Bus League. We are shocked that they are allowed outdoors without helmets.
To see how a one-time email from an individual who we don't even know who this individual is on September 14th of 2016 can characterize the victim's general demeanor. The detective has testified she doesn't even recall seeing this. However, should the court allow this line of questioning, the state submits that it would open the door to each and every reaction that Keith Caneiro had to somebody else and things he said to somebody else when he was upset that upon learning that his brother was stealing from him.
Think about it, defense.
I'll hear from you. Here's my problem. I got plenty of them when it comes to this, but let's talk about it for a minute.
He's got 99 problems.
You want to use an email from 2016 from two different people in this case, neither of which are a part of this case, and you're offering it for the truth of the matter asserted that he is a high-strung guy, Keith Caneiro. That's what you're offering it for, because you're specifically saying that would be important to the investigation one way or another when you evaluate all the evidence as it relates.
Thank you, Judge. You speak logic to me. 50 Shades of Logic. We're gonna need it. Please, God, explain why this lawyer is so fundamentally wrong and stupid. It's curing me. It's putting balm on my hurting brain.
To motive. So what you're offering it for, you don't have the ability to do that unless you're calling this witness, and they're not on the witness list. Are you planning on calling them and you just didn't put them on the witness list? Because how else are you going to get this information in?
We had no intention of calling them, Judge. We had the intention at this point in time of just asking.
When the state attorney is trying to figure out if he can leave, and when you have hurt the state attorney with your stupidness, oh my God, how? This is the reason I picked this trial. This is exactly why. Because I knew I was not wanting to do one with a kid, and we are going to get into some horrific testimony and stuff, but The general and genuine stupidity is why I'm here.
Detective Fassender about it for the purpose of lack of investigation into the case.
So here's the second part of the problem, though. You just crossed this witness about, you don't know Keith Caneiro. You don't know if the reaction that he had in this is something he does all the time or if it's an aberration. How do I know, or how does anyone know, that Susan Baldwin, how she knows him? What's her foundation of knowledge to know whether he's high-strung or not? We have nothing in this case. And you're putting the court in a position, and ultimately yourselves in a position, that in doing this, by asking these questions, I need you to understand, to this court, first of all, I don't see how, evidentially, how you're getting this in, but even if I was to allow it in, I would allow the state to respond, and which includes bringing back the witness from yesterday, Keith's best friend or close friend, who testified and wanted to say more about the emotions of what went on at the 6/18 dinner, the Saturday before this all happened, that I would allow this to come out. So you got two options. And if you want, I'll give you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to talk it over with co-counsel before we do it. Number one, I still don't know how legally it fits under the evidence rules to even go this way. And number two, if I decided to agree with you, do you understand, and is it your position and a strategic decision that you want to do this, understanding that I'm going to?
Yes, Tiff Knox, this is kind of precisely why I wanted to do this trial. When I was watching Uvalde, not only has this been kind of an old school true crime case, I think that chapter did a really good kind of breakdown of this story and this case, true crime case. This has been delayed because of the COOF. But also, I kept seeing pop-ups from Court TV about the judge losing his ever-living mind on the defense. And y'all, we would have been better with Daryl Brooks as an attorney. And I don't say that casually.
To say that it opens the door to Keith's emotional state normally, and then maybe how he felt as a result of learning some of this information about what was going on with his accounts and the money that he thought was going in a certain direction. So I'm going to give you a break. Think about this, and then we'll come back. We will start back at 25 to 3, and then we'll see where we're going at that point. All right?
Can I ask a question for clarification, Judge? Your Honor's indicate, based on what Your Honor just stated, and I appreciate the opportunity to confer, so in order to do so, my question is Your Honor saying we're opening the door to general demeanor or to content? Because the Wise video is both content and demeanor. It's a very prejudicial piece of evidence in this case, though relevant, and the reason it's relevant is because they're claiming, like, this was the motive. Keith was very upset with Paul.
Kim Kardashian and Ponytail, I'm going to need you to collectively combine your one brain cell and figure something out. Holy God, what the hell is going on here?
So it's one thing to say, we're opening the door to his general demeanor.
I don't think that's the motive. I don't think that's the motive. The motive is not what Keith's emotional state was. It's the fact that Keith has confronted Paul and what that meant to Paul and how he reacted.
Oh my God, the judge is having to explain the state's motive to the defense because they're too dim to get it. How did she become a defense attorney, assistant defense attorney? Oh my God.
As of the fact that he now knows that Keith is breathing down his neck and his whole house of cards is about to fall. I think that's the motive that we're talking about. I could be wrong, not my case to try, but I'm pretty sure that that's what we're talking about.
$78,000, Judge, yes. And the state's theory is that when Paul hears Keith upset about this whole thing, that's what sparks the alleged motive. But what I'm asking, I guess, is the court saying we're opening the door to other witnesses coming in here and saying, generally, he's a very calm guy, or generally, yeah, he is a little hot.
Yes.
Or are we opening the door, as the state is suggesting, to specific instances where Keith is saying things about Paul? Because that has nothing to do with general demeanor. That's content.
That would have to fit under another evidential rule, or that to allow some exception to allow that information in. I'm talking about demeanor.
Just demeanor. Okay, thank you.
All right, prosecutors. Just to be clear, that's what you were talking about. in opening the door.
No, Judge, to be honest, to be clear, I would say it's both.
Then show me how it would get in under an evidence rule.
Well, under state of mind, which we litigated previously, Keith's state of mind, not to mention 106 completeness.
Well, the completeness as it relates to the demeanor, I understand where you're coming from. But if you're going to, I would need to know what other areas that you'd be wanting to bring out. Again, I'm blind as to what the evidence is right now. So you would have to, you want to tell me what that is?
Well,
as what you,
I think Your Honor picked up on it previously when you were talking about Mr. Paolucci, who testified yesterday. I mean, we live in a world of, we can't bring in stuff that we know isn't admissible. You know, i.e., hey, Ben, what exactly did Keith say? Well, Keith's pissed off that, you know, Paul stole $80,000 from him. We didn't elicit that. You know, but now, by going into, like, Keith would flip out, it wasn't that big of a deal, he just always overreacted. It's like Keith's running around town for a period of months, you know, telling Jennifer's sister, you know, Jennifer's mother, Mr. Paolucci, that Keith's stealing from him and he wants to get out of business with him. He wants to go get a job. One of the reasons why he went back to school, he's applying for jobs. He's got a Zoom call the morning, he missed it because he was killed, with Abu Dhabi for a job interview. I mean, this is all related to this idea that, like, this, you know, this was just Keith. He just flipped out. He wasn't that man. Like, you know, it also kind of borderline, I think, intimates, like, that they know how Keith reacted, or the defendant knows how Keith would react without testimony to that regard. I understand, I completely agree with part one of the court's analysis, but I do think it opens up other doors to specific comments that Keith made about.
Because the defense is clearly trying to shade it as it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't enough that Paul was going to be worried about possible potential consequences with Keith learning this. It's diminishing that initiating kind of cause, and not good, not in a great way. Again, they have a chance in their case in chief to bring any and all character witnesses that'll say that Keith was always yelling about stuff, even when people weren't stealing blind from him or stealing him blind.
I'd have to do. I got to be honest. I have to do research on that issue to know for sure if it opens the door as to that other part. I don't know the answer to that, Ms. Massillon. I thought it was only for the first part that they were trying to bring it in for. If they're trying to bring it in for both, then I'm going to have to do a little bit more to make sure that I'm clear before I say anything.
Sure, and I know, Judge, with respect to, like, state of mind Kalia evidence, obviously.
Of course. And we're talking about State versus Kalia. Go ahead.
State versus Kalia.
Right.
With respect to statements made by a victim that don't invoke fear, you know, like, it's not like Keith saying, I'm scared of Paul. Those issues have, like, a heightened standard.
I agree.
For State versus Kalia. This situation is not there. We're just talking about the idea that Keith is upset because his money is unaccounted for and he's trying to figure it out. And I completely agree with the court's kind of recitation of the state's motive. I mean, obviously, we can address it when we get there. Quite frankly, I think we've said a couple times today, maybe yesterday too, that we felt that certain doors were open, and yet, as the court noted, we haven't kind of ran through them. You know, there's only so much, like, restraint that can be showed in order to react to things that are being brought out. So obviously, as the court said, we'll deal with specific instances as we get there. And if we do plan to elicit something that we feel, like I'm arguing right now, is relevant, I will certainly, Ms. Wallace will certainly allow the court to be made aware prior to doing it.
May I respond to that?
Of course you can. Go ahead.
So a couple of things. One of the things the prosecutor just said was about, you know, this all goes to Keith going back to school, wanting to get away from his brother, wanting to divorce himself from the businesses. Their first witness testified that 3 days before this happened, Keith is negotiating with Doris Duke, Gooley from Doris Duke, extending 3 business proposals, one of which says we will promise you to remain in business.
Because he owned 90% of that business and he could buy Paul out of the 10%. Yeah, he was trying to, again, he was probably aware that his money was going nowhere or going to his brother, and he was trying to save a financial net for himself. That doesn't mean that he wasn't also looking forward at other opportunities. You are so dumb, Kim Kardashian.
For 4 years and potentially an additional 2. So there's, like, that's not the full story, and it's a very one-sided narrative that the state is trying to, I think, portray. And it's
Oh my God, stand up straight. You are going to get a hump in your back before you're 40, shoulders back. Imagine that you're being lifted by a string from your head, support with your core muscles. You are so going to have a hump. Look, I maintain my posture because I don't want a hump. If you would like a dowager's hump, Ma'am, you're going to get one.
Not consistent with their own evidence. But beyond that, Judge, anything that Keith said, let's say to Ben, right, the few nights, Saturday night before this happened, that's to Keith. There's no link that Paul would have any knowledge of that. And in order to, I think, get into the realm of Kalia, and without having the case in front of me at this moment, there's no like nexus. And that's where the content, I think, would not come into play because and frankly, Judge, it kind of proves our point. Because if they're saying that Keith is running around pissed about this, pissed about this, pissed about this, and then this email says, yeah, and he's pissed about this too, then that's just, again, that's demeanor. It's that he's up.
No, he is pissed off at all times because his brother's stealing money. What are you not getting about this equation? Keith wouldn't be pissed off if his money wasn't gone. So what is the causative start of that? Your client, your douchey madouche client, stealing money from his niece and nephew.
It's also years before. It's not even like this is, for example, it's not like this email is from November 15th dealing with what's going on at that particular time. So yeah, he's fired up over the issue that we're talking about. We're talking about a completely different issue, as Mr. Murray brought out. It's a refi issue. It's not based upon anything else. And who knows, maybe he was upset about the refi issue, but maybe that's not how he normally is. He's just upset about this particular issue. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're trying to make things about to mean other things and other parts of the case. And I do not see it. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm only going to address the issue as of right now as to how it relates to demeanor, conduct, not into specific acts. That would be what I would decide. So you decide what you want to do, understanding I want to hear your legal justification to even getting this in the first place. So far, I haven't heard it. But if you got something for me, I'm more than willing to listen to it. But I wanted to be clear, the second part of the analysis, because you can win the battle and lose the war. You may win, and then you're opening the door to other things. That I'm telling you for sure. I'm going to allow them to respond to the demeanor issues. I can't say anything else because I don't know, because I don't have the research in front of me. All right, take a 10-minute break. We just went into that, so we'll come back at 2:45. If does anybody have an issue with me just telling the jurors what's going on, I'm going to walk in there just so that they know. I'm going to give them their 15-minute break right now.
No, Judge.
All right, anybody?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Given that at this point in time,
Mr. Murray, go ahead. We're back on the record outside the presence of the jury.
thank you for giving us that time, Judge.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just sit outside for a second? Thank you.
I did want to place a few things on the record. First, we anticipated that we were pursuing that line of questioning to demonstrate something akin to effect on the listener, and to lend that towards arguments about lack of investigation in the case. We were not looking at that as a specific instance of conduct on the part of Keith Caneiro. That being said, given that at this point in time we really have no idea what the universe of things are that this inquiry opens the door to, I do not think we can continue it without knowledge of what that could be. So I am going to move on. I will tell the court that, because Ms. Wallace brought this up yesterday, about years outside of 2017 and 2018, we do intend to get into information about prior years in terms of at least the trust account. Now, the state, I'm sure, is going to have to respond in whatever way they think it's appropriate with stuff outside of what they introduced today, but we do intend to do that. So I just wanted to make the court aware of that.
Do we think that it would have been important or helpful that in all of our pretrial motions that we filed in this case that we should have put the court?
Am I still frozen? Okay, it might be you, Fine Cat. Oh, okay. No, that helps me because we're probably going to finish up this little bit, and then I did promise the children that we would make some cookies, so we're probably going to finish this for today, and if I'm feeling froggy, we will finish up day 2 later on this afternoon, but I did tell them we would make some cookies because they're sad that they're seeing all the snow. Not like we're not getting like a butt ton of snow, but they're sad that the snow's not here yet.
On notice so the court could have decided some of these, whatever you want to bring in prior to 2017? I mean, isn't that what we were doing for almost 9 months, all the time?
The detective's report and reports in this case are not just about the trust account from 2017 and 2018. They're about the trust account from 2014 through 2018.
But the issue in this case and what we're focused on, isn't it surrounding, and isn't the indictment surrounding 2017 and 2018? It's not about 2014, 2015, or 2016, right?
Right.
Yes, but we have information from that account in the discovery, and we have reports about that account in the discovery. This witness wrote those reports.
Would you agree with me that detectives write things in their reports that doesn't mean that they may be relevant at the time of trial, but it may be a part of their overall investigation?
I don't know if I would, Judge. I think that anything a detective writes in their report is potentially relevant at a trial.
Okay, but who
Yes, Ian Crossland. Again, all information is important, but some might not be relevant in the context. It's always good to be a lifelong learner, yes, but not every piece of information you get is relevant at the time. Like, I do know factually that butt ton is actually a metric unit. I do think it's in liquid measurement for like large amount of wine. Now, I don't remember where I got that piece of information, nor does it really relate to anything in this trial. So that random factoid I gifted you with is not relevant. You see the similarities. Now, if I said that I understood, all of this law stuff, good Lord, Cletus, take a point, take a hint. The judge is telling you it's not relevant, but he's trying to be nice to you.
who decides whether it's relevant?
Well, I mean, obviously the court would decide that fact.
Well, shouldn't I know this in advance so that we could have addressed this issue one way or another?
Judge, the state, I don't think, has made any...
Oh, hell no. Okay, let me tell you the reason number 11-13. I am not a judge, because if someone did this to me, like, I have too much pent-up mom in me that no one is going to put their hand up. No.
Protest to the court about this information being irrelevant. The only thing they said about it is it may create a situation where they want to reference things outside of this year 17 and 18 period.
Okay.
They haven't said it's irrelevant.
All right. We'll see how it goes. Can we have our witness brought back in, please?
All right. I will see. First of all, stay warm and safe, you guys. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't typically do this, but Jason J. from our community did share with me that his battle with cancer is not going well. I have linked his GoFundMe. You feel free to look at it if you want to. You are not required to donate or anything, but do keep him in your thoughts and prayers, because the last couple appointments he has shared have not been going so well. So just wanted to keep that in mind. And everyone stay warm and stay safe. Don't go out on the roads if you don't have to. And try to, stay warm. Hopefully I will maintain power and internet so I can do some streaming during the cold, snowpocalypse. But if I can't, you guys, I have a wood stove. We will be warm even if the power goes out. So I hope that everyone stays warm and safe. And I should see you guys probably tomorrow or this afternoon, depending on how many cookies I'm conscripted into making. So have a wonderful rest of your day. I just need a break from this defense attorney. I don't know how this judge did it for full days. Holy goodness. I will see you in a little bit. Bye, you guys. Stay safe and stay warm.